Upon the lapse of 10 minutes or even before, the sergeant at arms will be informing the speaker whether we have quorum. This quorum will be formed by senators following Senate proceedings online and those in the chamber, where the Senate will be focusing on a number of business before it. Of importance is the communication from the Speaker in regards to the resolution by the County Assembly of Nyamira following the impeachment of the county boss, Honorable Amos Nyaribo, by 23 members of the County Assembly. So for the better part of next week, the Senate will be considering that impeachment, where the Constitution mandates the Senate to investigate whether the grounds for impeachment were met by the County Assembly that impeaches a county governor. So today's sitting has been gazetted, and it is a hybrid sitting where the sitting comprises of senators in the chamber and those following and contributing to the House business before the floor online. Away from the motion on the impeachment of Nyamira governor, the Senate leader of the majority party will be issuing a statement on the business of the Senate for the week commencing the 2nd day of December 2025. This is pursuant to Standing Orders number 57, subsection 1. And remember, Parliament, this is the National Assembly, and the Senate will be commencing the long recess on the 4th of December. So this communication by the Senate leader of the majority party is one to look out for in regards to what will be communicated.
Order number 1,
this afternoon.
Administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Honorable Senators, I have this message from the County Assembly of Nyamira on the approval of a motion on the proposed removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Amos Kimomi Nyaribo, Governor of Nyamira County. Honorable Senators, I wish to report to the Senate that I have, pursuant to Standing Order 48.3, received a message from the Speaker of the County Assembly of Nyamira regarding a resolution of the County Assembly of Nyamira for the proposed removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Amos Kimomi Nyaribo, Governor of Nyamira County, pursuant to Article 1A, B, and C of the Constitution, as read together with the Section 33 of the County Governments Act and the Standing Order 62 of the County Assembly of Nyamira. The message, which was conveyed to the Speaker of the Senate by the letter reference PK/CN/1/2025, dated Tuesday, 25th November 2025, signed by the Speaker of the County Assembly of Nyamira and received in my office on Thursday, 27th November 2025, listed the following grounds of impeachment against the Governor. 1, gross violation of the Constitution and other laws. Allegation 1, engagement, endorsement, and support of unlawful, illegal, and unconstitutional bunge mashinani. The particulars of this allegation are that the Governor engaged in various acts of gross violation of Articles 1, 10, 73, and 176 of the Constitution, the County Governments Act, and the principles of separation of powers by 1, formally engaging, endorsing, and supporting an unlawful forum known as bunge mashinani, purportedly convened by an impeached speaker, despite High Court judgments confirming the speaker's removal. 2, recognizing the removed speaker and clerk as legitimate office holders, contrary to court rulings and Senate resolutions, declaring sittings held outside gazetted precincts null and void, and 3, undermining the principle of separation of powers by enabling an illegal parallel assembly structure to transact county business. Honorable Senators, kindly find your way to the nearest seat. This is quite a long communication. And those who are misplaced can now go back to their comfort zones. Allegation 2, unlawful assent to the Nyamira County Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2024. The particulars of these allegations are that the governor engaged in gross violations of Articles 175A, 185(1), and 224 of the Constitution, Section 130 of the Public Finance Management Act, and Section 21 of the County Governments Act, by 1, assenting on 26 November 2024 to the Nyamira County Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2024 without the approval of the County Assembly as required by law. Number 2, unilaterally altering county fiscal priorities without legislative authority. And 3, usurping the appropriation mandate of the County Assembly and weakening legislative oversight over public finances. Allegation number 3, illegal appointment of Dr. Peris Nyaboke Oroko, alias Peris Mungale, as a county executive committee member. The particulars of these allegations are that the governor engaged in gross violations of Article 179(2)(b), Article 259 of the Constitution, and Section 30D of the County Governments Act by 1, appointing and retaining Dr. Peris Nyaboke Oroko as a CC member despite the Assembly's express refusal to approve a nomination. 2, integrating her into the county executive structure and the payroll without lawful authority. And 3, relying on the unlawful bunga mashinani process to justify the appointment, contrary to court declarations invalidating all its actions. Allegation 4, illegal appointment of members of the municipal boards of Nyamira and Keroka municipalities. The particulars of these allegations are that the governor engaged in gross violations of the Urban Areas and Cities Act and the Public Appointments County Assemblies Approval Act by 1, appointing board members for Nyamira municipality and the Keroka municipality without submitting the names to the County Assembly for vetting and approval. 2, gazetting the appointments despite the absence of mandatory Assembly approval. And 3, constituting municipal bonds in a manner contrary to law and outside established appointment procedures. Honorable Senators, kindly find your way to your seats. Very fast, without further discussions on the House. Allegation 5, unlawful appointment of a selection panel for the County Public Service Board. The particulars of these allegations are that the governor engaged in gross violations of the County Governments Act and Public Appointments County Assemblies Approval Act by 1, unilaterally appointing a selection panel to recruit members of the County Public Service Board without Assembly approval. 2, enabling the panel to recruit their chairperson, secretary, and members contrary to procedural requirements. And 3, interfering with the lawful mandate of the County Assembly in the appointment process. Allegation number 6, failure to appoint the chairperson, secretary, and members of the County Public Service Board, CPSB. The particulars of these allegations are that the governor violated statutory obligations relating to county staffing and administration by 1, failing to fill long-standing vacancies in the County Public Service Board since July 2025, and allowing the board to remain non-functional, resulting in administrative paralysis in human resource function of the county government of Nyamira. Allegation number 7, failure to deliver the state of the county assembly and annual reports. The particulars of this allegation are that the governor violated Article 183(3) of the Constitution and Section 32K of the County Government Acts by 1, failing to deliver the mandatory state of the county address for the financial years 2023-2024 and 2024-2025. And 2, failing to submit annual reports on the progress of the county, and 3, undermining transparency and accountability obligations imposed on the office of the governor. Allegation number 8, failure to comply with the court orders on the appointment of Mr. Crave Ogwola to the County Executive Committee. The particulars of this allegation are that the governor engaged in gross violations of Articles 10 and 159 of the Constitution and the principle of rule of law by 1, failing to appoint a duly nominated CC member, Mr. Crave Ogwola, contrary to binding court orders. And 2, exposing the county to financial loss amounting to approximately Kenya shilling 6 on the senators. Senator Chalagay. Exposing the county to financial loss amounting to approximately Kenya shilling 6.9 million in salary arrears from non-compliance, and 3, accruing additional legal costs and undermining judicial authority. The other one is abuse of office, allegation 1. You know there were 2 counts, then the second one is abuse of office. Allegation 1, recruitment of staff without a budgetary provision. The particulars of this allegation are that the governor engaged in abuse of office contrary to Articles 201D and 232 of the Constitution and the Public Finance Management Act by 1, authorizing mass recruitment of staff without budgetary provision or approval of the County Assembly of Nyamira, specifically A, the recruitment of 49 officers between February and April 2021, and B, the recruitment of Deputy County Secretary, County Attorney, support staff, 1 administrators, and sub-county administrators without the requisite approvals. And C, on the 9th of March 2023, the County Public Service Board advertised 358 vacancies, despite the absence of an approved budget for recruitment, an active recruitment freeze imposed by the County Assembly, and clear advisories issued by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. This recruitment expected to earn Kenya shillings 3.5 million annually to the wage bill, proceeded without any budgetary allocation or assembly approval, and D, accumulating salary arrears amounting to Kenya shillings 60 million owed to healthcare workers for 7 months. Number 2, ignoring formal resolutions of the County Assembly that flows further hiring, and 3, disregarding explicit advisory issued by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC, and 4, abandoning the county with an unsustainable annual wage bill, estimated at Kenya shillings 325 million. Allegation 2, influencing irregular appointments of senior human resource officials. The particulars of this allegation are that the governor abused the powers of his office by underpicking and seconding officers, including Mr. Godfrey Kiriago and Ms. Emeonda Nyaberi, to strategic human resource HR positions. And 2, influencing the transfer of substantive office holders to create vacancies for his preferred officers to be employed. And 3, manipulating administrative structures to consolidate control over HR functions. Allegation 3, personal enrichment through irregular salary arrears. The particulars of this allegation are that the governor engaged in abuse of office and financial impropriety by 1, awarding himself irregular salary arrears amounting to Kenya shillings 5,649,706,000, using HR officers irregularly appointed or influenced the process of payments, and 3, having a pattern of questionable claims, including a prior Kenya shillings 13 million, a housing compensation, and a double medical claim. Allegation 4, payroll fraud, syndicate resulting in loss of public funds. The particulars of this allegation are that the governor was involved in or failed to prevent payroll irregularities, contrary to Articles 201 and 226 of the Constitution, by 1, presiding over or allowing irregular overpayments to ECDE teachers amounting to more than Kenya shillings 25,018,852, in addition to Kenya shillings 1,100,467 and Kenya shillings 700,836 in other irregular payments. 2, receiving illegal benefit, which are admitted under oath, and 3, overseeing payroll fraud estimated at Kenya shillings 32 million. Senator Ende Okech, you can have your seat. Just take the nearest seat possible so that we conclude this communication. Allegation 5, influencing dual appointments outside the lawful establishment. The particulars of this allegation are that the governor abused his office by 1, creating duplicate positions for ward administrators and sub-county administrators. 2, allowing double occupation of certain offices, leading to double payment of salaries, and 3, violating the lawful establishment structure approved by the County Public Service Board. Allegation 6, usurpation of the powers of the Auditor General and the County Public Service Board. The particulars of this allegation are that the governor engaged in abuse of office in violation of the Constitution and the County Government Act by 1, conducting an unlawful payroll audit without the involvement of the Auditor General or authorization of the Assembly, and 2, using the audit to demote over 1,000 staff in the year 2021 and a further 254 staff in 2024 without due process, and 3, attempting to appeal County Public Service Board decisions, reversing the illegal demotions despite having no legal mandate to do so. Allegation number 7, an unlawful suspension of the Secretary of the County Public Service Board. The particulars of this allegation are that the governor abused his office by 1, purporting to suspend the Secretary of the CPSB without any constitutional or statutory authority, and 2, interfering with the independence of the functioning of the County Public Service Board, and 3, obstructing lawful human resource and administration within the county. Honorable Senators, annexed to the other conveying the decision of the County Assembly were the following documents. 1, a copy of an approved notice of motion dated 11th November 2025. 2, copy of an approved impeachment motion containing grounds and the particulars with annexes thereto, and 3, copy of the public participation report. 4, copy of invitation letter to governor to appear before the County Assembly to respond to allegations dated 17th November 2025. 5, copy of County Assembly answer report dated 25th November 2025. 6, copy of division of votes list. 7, advocates for the County Assembly. And 8, list of witnesses. Senator Abbas, you can have that analyst sit next to you. Honorable Senators, in terms of the way forward, Senator Abbas. In terms of the way forward, following the reading of the charges against the governor, standing under 81B of the Senate, as then together with Section 3B of the County Government Acts, gives the Senate two options on how to proceed with the matter. The Senate may, one, or by resolution, appoint a special committee comprising 11 of its members to investigate the matter, or B, investigate the matter in plenary. The Senate Majority Leader will, at an appointed time during this sitting, give notice of motion for the establishment of a special committee. Should this motion be carried, the special committee will be required under Section 33(4) of the County Government Act and standing under 82 of the Senate standing orders to investigate the matter and to report to the Senate on whether it finds the particulars of the allegations against the governor to have been substantiated. In the event that the motion for the establishment of a special committee does not pass, the fallback position is that the Senate shall proceed to investigate and consider the matter in plenary. In this event, I will appoint the dates on which the Senate will sit in plenary to hear and determine the charges against the governor. Honorable Senators, I wish to emphasize that when we come to the debate on the motion of the establishment of the special committee, debate on the motions will be limited to the substance of the motion, principally whether or not to establish the special committee. It will not be a debate on the substance of the impeachment or its merits, propriety, prudence, or even the constitutionality or the legality of the processes that have preceded the submission of this matter to the Senate. It is therefore not permissible to deviate to any issues other than the motion before the Senate. In the meantime, and during the pendency of the impeachment process in the Senate, I wish to caution honorable senators to refrain from publicly commenting on the merits or the merits of the impeachment motion before the Senate. Doing so would amount to anticipation of debate, which is an infringement of standing under 99 of the Senate standing orders. Accordingly, it shall be out of order within the meaning of standing under 122 for any senator to make comments, whether written or spoken, relating to the conduct of the governor or the impeachment process outside the confines of the impeachment proceedings, as such comments may prejudice the fair and just outcome of the process. Honorable Senators, during the 13th Parliament, the Senate has dealt with 9 impeachment proceedings, 2 of which are considered by special committees and 7 by the Senate sitting in plenary, including one involving a deputy president. It is important that we draw on the best practices established in previous proceedings as we deliberate on this matter. The Senate will be sitting as a quasi-judicial body and will conduct investigations into the alleged violations of the Constitution and the law, and therefore make its determination on the matter. Let me remind you that the impeachment hearing is not just a procedural formality, but a crucial process that plays a crucial role in upholding the principles of democracy and good governance. This hearing is one of the Senate's most vital oversight functions and key responsibilities. I conclude by urging all honorable senators to exercise the highest level of responsibility on this matter. Thank you. Next on the clerk.
Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
Senate Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the Senate today, that Thursday, the 27th of November, 2025. the COG Annual Statutory Report for financial year 2024-2025, reports of the Auditor General for the year ended 30th June 2025 on the financial statements of Nandi County Education Scheme, Meteitei Sub-County Hospital, County Government of Nandi, Nandi Hills Sub-County Hospital, County Government of Nandi, Mosoriot Sub-County Level 4 Hospital, Marsabit County Enterprise Fund, Marsabit County State Officers and other public officers Mortgage Scheme Fund, Ikuda Level 4 Hospital, Saikuru Sub-County Hospital, Isiolo County Education Bursary Fund, Isiolo County Emergency Fund, Ruiru Municipality, Limuru Municipality, Thika Municipality, Karori Municipality, Kikuyu Municipality, Limuru Water and Sewerage Company, Elgeyo Marakwet County Alcoholic Drinks Control Fund, Busia County Revolving Fund, Modogashe Sub-County Hospital, County Government of Garissa, Mombasa County Assembly, Car Loan and Mortgage Fund, Taita Taveta County Climate Change Fund, Vihiga County Climate Change Fund, Vihiga County Climate Change Fund, Meru County Executive Staff Housing Fund, Meru County Microfinance Corporation, Meru County Service Board, Meru Municipality, Miadhene Sub-County Hospital, County Government of Meru, West Pokot County Assembly, Car Loan and Mortgage Scheme, West Pokot County Bursary, Education Development and Infrastructure Fund, Chepareria Municipality, County Government of West Pokot, Muranga County Education Scholarship Fund, Kangari Municipality, County Government of Buranga, JM Karaoke Memorial County Referral Level 4 Hospital, Engineer County Referral Level 4 Hospital, County Government of Nyandarua, Embu County Revenue Authority, County Assembly of Meru, Embu Car Loan and Mortgage, Member Scheme Fund, Turkana County Education Fund, Turkana County Emergency Fund, Turkana County Biashara Fund, Turkana County Water and Services Fund, Nyamira County Mortgage Car Loan, Nyeri County Water and Sanitation Company Limited, County Government of Nyeri. Mr. Speaker, I beg to lay.
Next is the Chairperson, Standing Committee on Finance and Budget.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Senate today, the 27th. That is the report of the Committee of Finance and Budget on its consideration for the Kenya National Council for Population and Development Bill, National Bill number 72 of 2023.
Next, quickly, Chairperson, Standing Committee on Labor and Social Welfare.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the Senate today, 27th November 2025. Report on Standing Committee on Labor and Social Welfare, petition on employees of former Kenya Cooperative Creameries Limited, KCC, concerning non-payment of outstanding terminal benefits and Maziwa Sacco dues to former employees of Kenya Creameries Cooperative Limited. Report Standing Committee on Labor and Welfare on the Senate, Mr. Titus Njoroge, concerning the dismissal by the African Inland Church, AIC, of Kenya and payment of arrears. I lay.
Next, Order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to give notice of the following motion, which is the establishment of a special committee to investigate the proposed removal from office by way of impeachment of Honorable Amos Kimwoni Nyaribo, Governor of Nyamira County. That whereas pursuant to Article 181 of the Constitution and Section 33 of the County Governments Act 2012, on Tuesday the 25th November 2025, the County Assembly of Nyamira approved a motion for removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Amos Kimwoni Nyaribo, the Governor of Nyamira County. And further, whereas by letter reference SPK CAN 1/2025, dated the 25th of November 2025, and received in the office of the Speaker of the Senate on 26 November 2025, the Speaker of the County Assembly of Nyamira informed the Speaker of the Senate of the approval of the motion by the County Assembly, and further forwarded the Speaker of the Senate documents in evidence of the proceedings of the Assembly. And whereas pursuant to Section 33(3)(b) of the County Governments Act 2012, Standing Order number 81B1 of the Senate by resolution may appoint a special committee comprising of 11 of its members to investigate the matter. Now therefore, pursuant to Section 33(3)(b) of the County Governments Act 2012 and Standing Order number 81B1, Roman 1, the Senators resolved to proceed on this matter by way of establishment of a special committee to investigate the proposed removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Amos Kimwomi Nyaribo, the Governor of Nyamira County.
Very well. Honorable Senators, we will come back to order number 7 at appropriate time. So we go to the next order number 8.
Order number 8, motion, establishment of a special committee to investigate the proposed removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Amos Kimwomi Nyaribo, Governor of Nyamira County.
Senate Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move the following motion, which is the establishment of a committee to investigate the proposed removal from office by way of impeachment of Honorable Amos Kimwomi Nyaribo, the Governor of Nyamira County, that whereas pursuant to Article 181 of the Constitution and Section 33 of the County Governments Act 2012, on Tuesday the 25th of November 2025, the County Assembly of Nyamira approved a motion for the removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Amos Nyaribo, the Governor of Nyamira County, and further whereas by letter reference SPK CAN 1/2025, dated 25th November 2025, and received in the office of the Speaker of the Senate on the 26th November, the Speaker of the County Assembly of Nyamira informed the Speaker of the Senate of the approval of the motion by the County Assembly, and further forwarded the Speaker, the Senate, the documents, evidence, proceeding of the Assembly. And whereas pursuant to Section 33(3)(b), the County Governments Act and 2012, the Standing Order 81B1 of the Senate by resolution may appoint a special committee comprising 11 of its members to investigate this matter. Now therefore, pursuant to Section 33(3)(b) of the County Governments Act and Standing Order 81B, the Senate resolves to proceed on this matter by establishment of the special committee to investigate the proposed removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Amos Nyaribo, Governor of Nyamira. So, Speaker, you know this drill, and therefore the 11 members are Mr. Speaker, Githuku Kamau, Senator Eddie Okech, Senator Sifuna, Mwaruma. Mr. Speaker, you know I know how to read letters that are inside envelopes, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, I've never seen people with angrier faces when I'm moving a motion like this one. I don't know what crime I've committed, Mr. Speaker, but I don't like how I'm being stared at. So with those many remarks, Mr. Speaker, I beg to move and request Senator Eddie Okech to second.
Mr. Speaker, Nyamira County has faced a lot of problems. Don't relax. Can you just let me do my thing? And Mr. Speaker, the minority side feel that because Nyamira County has faced a lot of problems, I have got instruction from the minority side not to second this motion. And you know what the implication is. If I don't second this motion, you know what it means. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Senators, let me give this communication. The effect of the outcome on the motion for the establishment of a special committee to investigate the report on the proposed removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Amos Kimwomi Nyaribo, Governor of Nyamira County. So After the motion failed to get a seconder, the motion has been withdrawn. And honorable senators, as you may have noticed, the Senate Majority Leader moved the motion at order number 8 on today's order paper for the establishment of a special committee to investigate the proposed removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Amos Kimomi Nyaribo, Governor of Nyamira County. The motion failed to be seconded and therefore deemed to have been withdrawn pursuant to Standing Order 71 of the Senate Standing Orders. Honorable Senators, as I had communicated earlier by way of message on the resolution of the Nyamira County Assembly made on the 25th November 2025 for the removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Amos Kimomi Nyaribo, Governor of Nyamira County, Section 33(3)(a) of the County Government Act and Standing Order 81(b) of the Senate, providing that the Senate may, 1, by resolution, appoint a special committee comprising 11 of its members to investigate the matter, or 2, investigate the matter in plenary. The motion have been withdrawn. The route of a special committee is abandoned, and now implies that the Senate will investigate the proposed removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Amos Kimomi Nyaribo, Governor of Nyamira County, in plenary, pursuant to Section 33, subsection 3A of the County Government Acts and Standing Order 80, subsection 1B2. Honorable Senators, at its meeting on today, Thursday, 27th November 2025, the Senate Business Committee considered the provisional dates for this investigation in the event that the matter was to be investigated in plenary. In line with the schedule of activities for an impeachment hearing in plenary, I hereby give the following directions. 1, the clerk to issue investigations to appear to the parties on Thursday, 27th November 2025. The parties to file their responses with the Office of the Clerk of the Senate by Monday, 1st December 2025 by 5 p.m. And C, the clerk to circulate documents received from the parties, including the plenary hearing program, to all honorable senators by close of business on Tuesday, 2nd December 2025 by 5 p.m. And D, the Senate shall then investigate the matter in plenary on Wednesday, 3rd December 2025 and on Thursday, 4th December 2025. The Senate is accordingly guided. So let's go to the next order.
Order number 9, motion, report of the Standing Committee on Roads, Transportation and Housing on a petition by Mr. Francis Otieno regarding compensation for sugarcane crop damaged by the Department of Public Works, Roads, Energy and Transport in Pap Oriang in Siaya County. Mover to reply.
I can see the mover is not allowed, but that cannot stop us from. Which one is this? Oh, yeah, you can proceed to reply.
Mr. Speaker, I'm seeing you are used to seeing me as a regular member. I am now the chair of Transport, Roads and Housing in the Senate committee. So I'm around, and I'm a very diligent member of this House, Mr. Speaker. I don't miss the House unless under very, very unavoidable circumstances. I'm a diligent member. But that said, Mr. Speaker, I want to take this opportunity to thank members of the House who got a chance to contribute to this motion. Mr. Speaker, I want to say categorically that as a House, we are here not only to pass legislation, but to also exercise our role of representation. And part of representation is also to fight for what is good for our people and the general public. This petition is one of those areas that give us that opportunity to be able to fight for different people who might be facing a lot of challenges, including exploitation by different people in positions of power, as Mr. Francis Otieno might have faced. And therefore, I must make it categorical that the Committee on Transport, Roads and Housing, with the members that are there, who got a chance to listen to this petition, gave the petition a very thorough hearing. And I want to thank them, from Senator Chute to Senator Tobiko to Senator Wambua, Senator Kinyua, Senator Kajwang, who is a member of this committee, Senator Miraj, as well as Senator Sige, very committed members of this committee. Mr. Speaker, let me say that while I am grateful to members who got a chance to contribute to this motion, I must also say, Mr. Speaker, that I've seen a very dichotomous elements of debating when it comes to report on this House. Of course, starting with the report that we presented here. On one hand, I saw members, and I will not be able to perhaps indicate them by names, but I saw members who were keen on being able to read the entire report in its entirety. And after reading the report, they were able to see the judicious nature of the work that we did. And I want to thank those members, because it is important that we do read these reports. When you read the reports, you don't only understand why the petition was there, but you also get to understand the nuances that our people are dealing with in the course of carrying out their day-to-day duties and in their day-to-day livelihood aspirations in the communities. But, Mr. Speaker, without casting any aspersions to a few members who did not read this report definitely and contributed so passionately, but then ended up bashing the report, Mr. Speaker, I want to invite them that, Mr. Speaker, it's very important to read the report. For instance, Mr. Speaker, I saw a few members here getting up and going to the conclusion or the recommendations given by this report, which was very thorough, that the Senate, based on the nature of how this matter was presented to it, does not have the jurisdiction to deal with the issue. And then they just attacked the report. The Speaker, maybe, so those members, because they did not read the report, let me reiterate that the petition that was presented before this House was between Mr. Francis Otieno and the county government of Siaya. And Ms. Otieno had sought government of Siaya pay him crop through his, and therefore, at face value, the understanding of the petition was that the county government of Siaya was directly implementing a project that was affecting the land of Mr. Otieno. And therefore, that would mean that we should hold liable the county government of Siaya's Public Works Department. Mr. Speaker, upon inviting the county government of Siaya and upon inviting Mr. Francis Otieno, we further established that this was far from the truth. There was actually a contractor by the name Aeneas who had been contracted to not do the road. He was doing a different project in the hospital, and the contractor, because did not have the time to go around the shamba, the contractor had an agreement with Mr. Francis Otieno to pass through his land and access the construction site. So that was not something that was made clear in the petition in its initial form. So then we said, let's invite the contractor to give us his side of the story. Let us invite the county government of Siaya, which was represented by none other than the CEO, as established under Article 179 of the Constitution, who is the governor of Siaya. And we had all these three parties come before our committee, Mr. Speaker. And when they came, Mr. Speaker, we established other complexities that hadn't been indicated in the petition. For instance, we established that the petitioner had actually had a contractual agreement on that, agreement with the contractor to cross the farm. They had an agreement that involved a compensation for accessing the project site. So number one, you established there that, number one, there was no road construction on this piece of land. Number two, there was not just access, a simple access. It was an agreement that the contractor and the said petitioner had actually come to that agreement. And Mr. Speaker, if the people who were bashing the report dared to read, you will realize that in the first place, if you read that report, the contractor and the petitioner had agreed to a tune of 34 million as compensation. And that 34 million as compensation, they had sat after going to ombudsman, which again is in the report. These two had gone and engaged the ombudsman over their conflict over their initial agreement. And after that meeting with the ombudsman, they further agreed to reverse the money down from 34 million to 1.3 million, which the contractor was not honoring. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, after a tete-a-tete between the two of them, after all those engagements, they had even engaged the Department of Public Works informally to try and find a way of paying each other. The petitioner went to court. The petitioner went to court, Mr. Speaker, over that agreement that they had with the contractor, not the Siaya County Department of Public Works. So by the time this petition was finding itself in this house, Mr. Speaker, the matter was active in court, which, if the petitioner had been very frank and very open about all those incidents and those historical background, and not limiting it only to the issue of county government, then perhaps even the petition could not have been admitted in the first place. It was something that was sub judice. Hence, the recommendation by the committee that this petition was not properly before us, and the jurisdiction was not subject to the Senate. So I wish that the members who are bashing the report, please, take time to read. Take time to understand the historical background. Mr. Speaker, for instance, you see the history I've just given you, the findings that we're just getting. We were getting them as raw as possible. In fact, when the petitioner appeared before us, Mr. Speaker, the petitioner said that he cannot be able to speak in English. And there was no prior arrangement or even prior request to be able to get an interpreter so that he could be able to present his case to the best of their ability. Mr. Speaker, do you know that the committee took the hardest decision to say, okay,
Senator,
we are already in the meeting.
You have violated these standing orders twice. One is standing between me and the member speaking, and two is to cross to this other side of the aisle.
Mr. Speaker, you know, Senator Kiamrata spent a lot of time in the streets. So this crisscrossing has anyhow in the streets is his habit, but you can perhaps forgive him so that he can learn the manners of the House. With time, these things he will understand.
And also, Senator Eddie Okech.
Yes, sir.
I've listened to you keenly since you started.
Yes.
You know, once you bring a report to the House, it is the members to read the report and to debate the way they wish is the you report. First,
I did.
Report. Therefore, just report not for the
Thank you. Standing up in which the one who actually of this early times you used to and one of the ones that I'm passionate about is 105 on factual conversation in this house. Because, Mr. Speaker, there is a danger if they don't read the report and absorb it of possibly misinforming the public. And I think that's the context with which I'm trying to make those clarifications, so that in case the public was misinformed that perhaps the committee did not handle the petition appropriately, or maybe even dismissed, because it could easily come as if the committee dismissed the petitioner, which would be a misrepresentation of fact and would look like a miscarriage of justice. So that's the context, Mr. Speaker. But otherwise, I appreciate them for contributing. You know, contribution is contribution, Mr. Speaker. You know, if you invited me to an Arambe.
Senator Chali, you are on intervention. What is your point of honor?
Mr. Speaker, I raise understanding on Article 50. Mr. Speaker, the reason members expressed and I contributed reservations, and Senator Eddy should realize is just reply. Secondly, it says justice should be adjudged without due or what you call technicalities. The argument of members, the reason we differed with the report of the committee is we found that the committee did not recommend anything. They just argued on the rule of sub judice, which does not apply because there is what we call principle of separation of powers. So is it in order? I'm not debating. Is it in order? I'm writing under Article 50 of the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, is it in order for Senator Eddy to isolate a few senators who differed with the report? This is not a choir. Well, must we agree with the report? Because our argument was very simple. Why did the report not even give a way forward on the prayers of the petitioner? That was our argument, based on the Constitution, that technicality should not affect justice to that aggrieved individual, Mr. Speaker. And that was our argument. So it is in order for Senator Eddy, the Chair of Roads and Transport, to continue running over the reason and Solomonic engagement of members of this Senate. Can he withdraw and apologize? Or else we'll shoot down the report.
Senator Eddie Okech.
Mr. Speaker, time without number, I keep on talking about reading and understanding. Even now you have heard my brother, Senator Chalgei, getting up and twice, if you go unanswered, has quoted Article 50 of the Constitution on matters of technicalities. And that is not the right article in the first place. He doesn't even understand that. The matter of avoiding to give what we call judicial authority in the Constitution that is given to this House under Article 125 of the Constitution that makes us become, just relax, I educate you, my friend. But Mr. Speaker, I am coming, because it quoted procedural technicalities. Procedural technicalities, Mr. Speaker, is established under Article 159 of the Constitution, which gives us judicial authority as a House established as a High Court under Article 125 of the Constitution. And I'll read it for him. This is what it says. Under Sub-Article 2D of the Constitution, justice shall be administered without undue regard to procedural technicalities. He was trying to quote that, Mr. Speaker, and he's quoting the wrong article of the Constitution. It's the same way, Mr. Speaker, I'm saying that these senators, Mr. Speaker, like Cherargei, are not reading the entire report. They are just being, Mr. Speaker, this is a banter now and is debating the report again.
It's on. Point of Speaker, I argued on Article 50 on fair hearing, and also the technicality, which is I extrapolated under Article 159. When you read the fair hearing process, it is well set out. So my argument was simple. Even in the report itself, did the petitioner given fair hearing? And in fact, I'm surprised this is the first time a chair of committee is running away from his own report, because he is arguing that they gave a way out. Yet in the report that we read, unless the House was given the wrong report, there was no way out. The argument was that the matter is still in court and the matter is under ADR. Is it in order? Can Senator Eddy table the real report now and tell us what was the conclusion of the committee against the petition of on the petitioner's prayers on the issue of the county government of Siaya, the matter in court? What was the real, because what we were given is totally different. And if you have seen is gallivanting and perambulating around the issue, Mr. Speaker, by saying, oh, you know, the matter is sub judice, the matter is, can he give us what was the recommendation? Can he read for the benefit of the House? Just give us the recommendation.
Senator Cherargei, the report was discussed recently in this House, and I was seated here most of the time. And there was that conclusion. It's in your gadget. You can check the report, because I referred to it when I had members not agreeing with the conclusion of the committee, the recommendation of the committee. So I think it is there. You can still have a look at their recommendations. But now conclude.
Mr. Speaker, let me conclude, because
I'm wondering why you have all this time, because you end maybe 15 minutes.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I'll conclude, because at the danger of having someone like Senator Cherargei redebating the report on the pretext of what I've just complained about, not reading. And he wants me to take him back to class to read again. I can't do it, Mr. Speaker, because the work was done. In a report, there is committee observations, which is now establishment, which then informs recommendation. There is history of the report. Mr. Speaker, I can't, Mr. Speaker, you'll have to protect me, because Senator Cherargei is now debating the report when he had debated the report. And I've said, Mr. Speaker, that there are senators in this House.
You Chair Loans and Transport Committee.
Yes.
You opened this debate yourself by bashing members of the Senate.
I wasn't bashing.
I want still to open to members now to interrogate your issues. Senator Mukatani, you are on a point of order.
Speaker was on intervention, and I wanted to bring Honorable Chair to the attention of Standing Order 235. 235 sets the form of petition. Mr. Speaker, the moment a matter is before court, and you will see that the petitioner is supposed to show whether there was any body, any legislative, any other body that dealt with the matter and what was the reply, and whether the matter was pending before court. And if the matter is pending before court, that petition is dismissed immediately. Okay? But what the recommendation of that report said was that it should go back, the petitioner should go to seek other bodies to solve out the matter. That is what you said. If you read, Mr. Chairman, and with a lot of respect, I think you need to be a bit restrained in your wording. Assuming that senators didn't read, I think it's going on the wrong direction. If I were you, I would have said that the matter was in court, we discovered, and we withdraw. Mr. Speaker, it is not the first time. When we were in Energy Committee, and Honorable Senator Omutata had brought a petition on behalf of the residents of Uyombo Village in Kilifi County. When we went there, the moment we discovered that the matter was in court, we closed the matter. And the report came here before the House to say that. But we didn't come to say, follow the matter with other legislative body or other adjudicative bodies, like that, what the report said. If you look at that recommendation, look at the summary of the recommendation. We read that report. The recommendation was clear that we should go, the petitioner should go to other adjudicative bodies. Please inform me.
Know the Senator Andy Okech. You know, there is a way Senator Mugatana communicated to me and we were able to communicate. So proceed, you inform him if he has accepted to be informed.
In fact, Mr. Speaker, so that we dissuade this misinformation by the Chair of Roads, I am with the report 6.0 committee recommendation. And unless the committee chair is running away from the report, one recommendation, one prayer, one. And this was recommendation. In accordance to the above prayer, the committee states that it cannot grant these prayers, fail to produce any documentation or formal contract to the committee linking the Department of Public Works, Roads and Energy, Transport. However, the committee recommends that the petitioner to pursue the original contract entered into between him and Mr. Enea Onyango through an appropriate other jurisdictions. Number two, prayer number two, in response to the above prayer, the committee recommends that any grievances from the lessor should be addressed through appropriate legal channels, as the committee has noted that the petitioner lacks authority to raise their complaint about the alleged engrossment. So he has already violated standing order number 232 and standing order number 235. So I want to inform my brother Senator Mungatana that it is right. So the chair himself did not read the report. I yield, Mr. Speaker.
You informed him that he is right. Yes. Now, I think Senator Tabitha, can we conclude this matter?
Thank you, Mr.
Still
Speaker.
further want to inform Senator Mungatana. Are you on a point of order or what is it?
Not really a point of order, but on for information, Mr. Speaker. I would really request just a minute. In Senator Eddie's submissions as the chair, there's something that he brought out, and what I have observed as a member of this House, in my own opinion, is that either the clerk of that committee was not able to put that information in this report and it was an oversight. What am I saying? Seems that the committee, when the petitioner appeared, did not give full information to that committee. The petitioner did not indicate that the matter was in court. The petitioner did not indicate earlier when he appeared before the committee that there was a contract between him and the contractor. And so, as pertaining the standing orders of the Senate, the committee started listening to this particular petition. until at a point that they invited the contractor. Until at that point is when the committee realized apparently this matter is live in court. And the Honorable Chair, what he did, he gave his directions and said, we cannot proceed then if this matter in court, because apparently the petitioner was not honest enough to say this matter is in court and to bring out everything and all the agreements. And apparently the contractor brought about written live agreements that they had entered with this particular petitioner. So the petitioner is the one who was not honest, but maybe the clerk of this committee should have written these recommendations more and highlighting so that the members can see that. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Speaker.
No, I want also to advise Senator Mutinda. This report does not belong to the clerk. This report is a committee's report. The chairman is the CEO of that committee. And now this document belongs to the House of the Senate. So what you should do, Senator Okech, is to leave it for the Senate to make a decision that they feel it is appropriate. Also, it is not your committee's report any longer. This is the Senate report. And any decision made by the Senate, in either way or the other, you know, there is also a question to be put. So the Senate can negate that, can negative that the report. But also what Senator Mugatan asked is very genuine. When the committee realized that the matter was active in court, why did you proceed to execute that petition? You could have dismissed that petition because it is a matter pending in court. Even when reading a petition, at the bottom of any petition, either the clerk or whoever the owner of the petition declares that this matter is not pending in a court of law. So once you realize that the matter was in court, why did the committee proceed to conclude and to hear, to summon? I don't know whether you visited the county. Did you visit the county? You either write them down or you just cram them. So that is the issues raised by the members are very genuine indeed. So you just conclude and leave it at that. The Senate will make the decision on the report in one or the other when the right time comes.
Mr. Speaker, when I serve in the committee, I serve under your honor. I do your work in the committee. And when I'm doing your work in the committee, my work is that when I come to this house, I tell you things as they happened, not as I think they should have happened. I think that's why when I bring you a report in the house, the report then becomes your property as a house, because I've informed you about what happened. Mr. Speaker, may you protect me? Because I'm being harassed by senators who want to feel that they are legally sounder than myself. Mr. Speaker,
avoid exchanging with your colleagues.
If you protect me, I'll avoid, because I cannot avoid hearing Cherargei shouting. I cannot avoid hearing Senator Mugatana shouting.
Senator Cherargei.
Mr. Speaker, will you protect me? Or
Mugatana, let him conclude the reply.
Mr. Speaker, there is point of order. If the senators want to put a point of order, they can put a point of order and I can sit and then they can express themselves. Then I'll listen respectfully to what they want to bring. Mr. Speaker, I am unanswered, requesting you as the leader of this House, because this is a very important petition. We have done a narrative of everything that transpired. I want to encourage senators that before they take a decision on this report, they read the report. There are senators who read it very well and understood it and appreciate them, and which informed their...
Yes. You know, I'm the one who questioned you about bashing your colleagues.
I didn't bash Mr. Speaker.
I questioned you.
Mr. Speaker, I'm
and
not
you
bashing.
invited yourself to all this. Senator Andy Okech, you are the chair of the committee.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
You are the chair of the committee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So
then,
Mr. Speaker,
just have your seat.
Mr. Speaker,
there is a point of order from Senator Mgatano.
Mr. Speaker, I want the chair of this committee, now that he's asking for it, to take responsibility. I'm standing under 105, the responsibility for the statement that some senators did not read. Did he go and spend the night with all these senators to know whether they read or they didn't? Is he in order, Mr. Speaker? Can he withdraw and apologize that statement? We don't come here to joke, my friend.
This is your point of order, Senator Esther Okenyuri.
Mr. Speaker, I equally take offense because I gave my views on this report as insufficient based on what I read. And I'm entitled to give an opinion. It's not all the time that we have to agree with what has been brought here. Based on what was actually brought by the committee, I gave my views. So I would want to implore the chair to be kind, because we have actually gone through the report, and it's on that basis we are giving our views. Thank you.
Senator Chalege, what's your point of order again?
Mr. Speaker, standing order 105 and 101, the contents of Mr. Speaker. Have you seen the chair of Roads and Transport trying to impute improper motive against the senators of this house? This house is blessed with vast people, Mr. Speaker, that can read and understand. I read that report. It is, Mr. Speaker, you have done a good job. All the reports are here. I'm even reading his report as a moment. Can he withdraw and apologize? Or if he doesn't want to withdraw and apologize, Mr. Speaker, standing order 122, 123, 125, he should be thrown out, Mr. Speaker. Because he cannot, imagine, Mr. Speaker, Kenyans will know that their representatives don't read. You can imagine the embarrassment, Mr. Speaker. And some of us are very learned.
The chair, Committee on Loans and Transportation. You saw even the chair referring members to that document, because I also learned it. You hand me referring Senator Chalege to his iPad so that he can also lean the conclusion, because I learned the report. So, Senator Andy Okech, Chair, Loans and Transport Committee, you have been doing so well since your appointment as the chair. But this afternoon, I don't know what has happened to you, that you have the audacity to lecture all the senators. So kindly withdraw that statement that senators do not read the reports, and apologize to the extent that the senators will be satisfied.
Mr. Speaker, if it pleases you, I withdraw and apologize. And Mr. Speaker,
It pleases me or the House?
you here is not Mr. Speaker. You is a word that refers to the House. That's what the English I was taught tells me. But Mr. Speaker, with a lot of sincerity, Mr. Speaker, this is a house of justice. What I'm trying to petition the House now on behalf of this petition is to seek deeper understanding on some of the issues that perhaps we as a committee are told to bring in this House, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, you see, you asked me a fundamental question, for instance. Did we visit the site? And Mr. Speaker, I was going to get there, and I didn't want to be for Senator Chiragei, who I didn't even question whether he had a different interpretation of this report or not. Mr. Speaker, the very reason why the committee decided not to visit the site is the very reason because we discovered it was an active matter in court as we were dealing with the petition, Mr. Speaker. If the petitioner had indicated that this matter was in court right from the beginning, Mr. Speaker, we could have dismissed it without hearing, Mr. Speaker. But in the course of hearing, when you established that, and Mr. Speaker, we are very clear about the language that has been used there, Mr. Speaker. The recommendation that has been used verbatim is that as per matter that is between the contractor and the petitioner, let them pursue it in the jurisdiction that it is in. That's just a matter of English to say it's a matter in court. Let them deal with it as is in court, Mr. Speaker. I don't know whether a few senators wanted us to just say explicitly, let them go to court. It is, you have established that this matter is being dealt with a different jurisdiction. Let it continue that jurisdiction. That's what I want to encourage, Mr. Speaker. But with that said, Mr. Speaker, I think with that said, Mr. Speaker, I reply.
Senator Andy, okay. What do you want me to do, Senator Andy?
Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order number 663, I beg that putting of the question be deferred to a later date. I thank you.
Yes, the matter, the putting of the question has been deferred. Next order. Next order. Senators, we defer on the number 10 and 11. We go to under number 12. Go on there.
Order number 12, motion, consideration of the report of the Standing Committee on Health on the county oversight and networking engagement in Kilifi County. Resumption of debate interrupted on Wednesday, 26th November 2025, afternoon sitting.
Honorable Senators, Senator Endo Okech has a balance of 17 minutes. So you can either you use your minutes or you can. It means you have not trained it.
May you give me the hard copy? You need to, Mr. Speaker. Because there are things I wanted to refer to. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, I know I've brought a lot of heat today in the House because I was fighting the issue of scanning on reports instead of reading reports. And Mr. Speaker, it doesn't affect you for sure. I know that you are an elder and you do read reports. I know you very well. And even the people I was talking about, Mr. Speaker, are good readers. You know, some of them are lawyers, they are good readers. I wasn't even referring to them in the first place. So they should just be okay. They should just chill. My sister said, can you read reports all the time? The guys I was doubting are not even in this house, Mr. Speaker, right now. But Mr. Speaker, I was contributing yesterday and appreciating the committee on health, the Standing Committee on Health, for the great work that they did in Kilifi, Mr. Speaker. When a good job is done, for me, I will always appreciate, Mr. Speaker. I think that they did a very good job. This was a networking and an oversight visit that they did establish a few findings in Kilifi, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, perhaps it might interest the House to know that together with my sister, Senator Tabitha Mutinda, we served in the committee on Shakahola matter. And we had a task to do when we went to Kilifi. And part of what we had a bird's eye view position on was visiting the hospital as well and just looking at some of the observations that I think that are appropriately indicated here. They are factual because we also got to observe them when we went there. So, Mr. Speaker, I must say that one of the observations that I really cared about that this committee observed was the issue of the infrastructure around the pharmacy in the hospital. Mr. Speaker, you can do all diagnostics in a hospital. In a hospital, you can do all equipment that you can bring in a hospital. You can have the best personnel possible in a hospital. But, Mr. Speaker, if you don't come to the main point where the rubber meets the road, which is the drugs that then are then administered to people to cure them, Mr. Speaker, then it can be a struggle. And, Mr. Speaker, I was observing that the challenge that we are having, one, with the lack of proper infrastructure of pharmacy in this hospital, that then culminates into the issue of lack of drugs in entirety in this hospital, or sometimes even lack of proper records on drugs, which then leads to issue number 3 that was observed by the committee, because I might not get time to go through what I'd read yesterday, Mr. Speaker, which was the issue of expired drugs that cost the Kilifi County a lot of money, Mr. Speaker. These are issues that I find them global. Mr. Speaker, that they are not only manifesting in Kilifi County, they are also manifesting in other hospitals in our own respective counties, Mr. Speaker. And it's an issue that, Mr. Speaker, I think that this House should perhaps extrapolate from this report and make it a substantive issue on how do we deal with this issue of drugs in the hospital, Mr. Speaker. Why is it that in all the hospitals that we have in our counties, Mr. Speaker, that are county hospitals, always when people go to get medication, they are diagnosed, they are given prescriptions, and then they are told there are no drugs here. But the doctors and the physicians in those hospitals are very particular in recommending where you're going to get the drug. They're very particular. They will tell you there is no drug in Migori Hospital, but you go particularly to this particular pharmacy inside in Migori town. Because if it's just a matter of prescribing as a physician and not knowing the number of chemist shops that are around, then you should allow people to just go where they can be able to get the drug in a free and fair manner. They prescribe specific places. And, Mr. Speaker, this matter also goes to diagnostics. Mr. Speaker, we have complained about the state of having health care in our communities, in counties, being a mission care, not an issue of profiteering from the sickness of our people, Mr. Speaker. Because outcomes, for instance, the services around ultrasound or radiology services or any other diagnostic services in these hospitals in our country, Mr. Speaker, you go to Hospital A, the amount that you're being charged is different from Hospital B, which is just a stone throw away from Hospital A. And now when you go to another facility, which is not an hospital, but it's just a simple diagnostic center, Mr. Speaker, you are charged more. And we're seeing it even in Nairobi here, Mr. Speaker. I've said time without number that if you go, for instance, for MRI service, Mr. Speaker, in Aga Khan, for instance, you will be charged 45,000. This real. Then if you go to Medihill, you're charged 19,000. If you go to Kenyatta, it is below 9,000, Mr. Speaker. Same service, same machine, and same results. How did we get there as a country, Mr. Speaker, where a same service in medical field will cost different prices, and they are not marginal prices, Mr. Speaker. They are humongous differences, Mr. Speaker. And that is happening with our drugs. It's happening with all diagnostics in our hospitals, Mr. Speaker. I think this is the core element of this report, Mr. Speaker. The question around drugs and diagnostic services, Mr. Speaker, is a question that this House must address itself to, not only on the Kilifi County Referral Hospital, Mr. Speaker, but we need perhaps to do a serious legal assessment test as a House, now that we are a House of legislation. We need to do a proper legal assessment on the status of drug administration and drug management and drug delivery in our hospital, Mr. Speaker, to the extent that we must make sure that drugs are available. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, we might be running counties where, and I hope that I won't be throwing aspersions here, Mr. Speaker, of course, these are not members of this House, but we might be running a county, Mr. Speaker, counties where people have got serious vested interest in the medical field, so that they're actually the people who are running these pharmaceuticals. It could be doctors, it could be clinical officers in our hospitals, but even the worst, it could be even be the governors themselves, or their chief officers, or their CECs running these kiosks around and peddling, some pocket change. Maybe I've got some aligned incentives with the systems in the hospitals to sell drugs, and therefore ending up to make it difficult for people to access drugs, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is what I wanted to emphasize on. But other than that, Mr. Speaker, I think there are other issues that were very good in this report that I think that can be explored by other senators, because I think that it would be good that I give other senators time, because this was a report. But I think, Mr. Speaker, I just want to plead with this House that let's have a conversation around drug and drug management in our hospitals and making sure that our people can be able to get drugs. This is a problem that I'm seeing in Migori County, time without number. People are calling me from Migori County, Mr. Speaker, every single time. They have gone to hospitals, they have gotten prescriptions, they have gotten diagnostics from the doctors and physicians there, and then there's just no drug. Yet you can see in the budget of Migori County, money was used to buy drugs, money was dispensed, the money that is being paid to KEMSA is a lot of money to get these drugs. How comes that people just don't have those drugs? And it's something that, Mr. Speaker, I wanted to encourage even the members of this House that are future governors, including, Mr. Speaker, yourself. I see you as a very sober leader in this House, Mr. Speaker. I believe that one day you'll become a governor. And we have got people like Senator Biko, who I'm praying hard one day becomes a governor. There are many of us here who are aspiring governors. As we interact with these reports, let them inform our strategic thinking when one day we become governors in those counties, Mr. Speaker, that when you do become governor, let's deal with fundamental issues. And one of those fundamental issues is drugs, drugs, drugs. But the last one that is very important, I hope that all our sub-county hospitals, not the county hospitals, will one day have functional maternity wings, Mr. Speaker. It is embarrassing, Mr. Speaker, because when you look at the infrastructure across Kilifi County, Mr. Speaker, today, things like C-sections for deliveries, Mr. Speaker, has become a fundamental technology, a very simplistic technology, but very core key one. You can't keep on having people being referred to the county referral hospitals, Mr. Speaker, for mothers to go and deliver on C-sections on now a basic technology that must be availed to everyone. Would indeed be good, Mr. Speaker, when, for instance, in Migori County, where we have got 8 major sub-counties and then 10 in total, Mr. Speaker, would indeed be so good if our health centers are equipped in a way that they can help our mothers deliver, Mr. Speaker. Because when you put it that C-section can only be found in the county referral hospital, Mr. Speaker, like the Migori Hospital, Mr. Speaker, a mother coming from Nyatike, now that it's a raining session, Mr. Speaker, season, a mother coming from Nyatike must end up dealing with bad roads, and then after dealing with bad roads, deal with the issue of cost of getting to the hospital, and then get there, and then find another queue. Already you get there so tired, having been battered in bad roads, and then you get again into a queue, and then you've got cost implications in all this. Mr. Speaker, it's not fair to our mothers. So I hope, and I want to encourage, one day when Senator Cherargei becomes the governor of Nandi, and I'm wishing him well because as a lawyer, he knows the law, but he's learning from people who have run businesses, who are managers from this house. They are very good professionals in this house, Mr. Speaker. He will go and establish this fundamental infrastructure for people in Nandi County. The same way, one day, if Senator Tobigo becomes a governor in Kajiado, she will be able to make sure that all sub-counties, there's maternal facilities, all sub-county hospitals, and even dispensaries, there is adequate access to drugs. Mr. Speaker, by the way, if we deal with those two issues, I think we can fundamentally improve the state of healthcare in our counties. With that, Mr. Speaker, for the purpose of giving my colleagues also time to input in this report, I want to appreciate as well as support this report in totality. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Cherargei Samson.
When the hills gave way in Marakwet, thousands were left with nothing. But together, we can help them rise again. Join KBC in the Restore Hope, Restore Earth campaign, Unity in Adversity. Together for Marakwet. Donate through paybill number 522533, account number 8036543, or drop foodstuffs and supplies at Marakwet County offices. Every shilling, every tree, every act of kindness counts. KBC, bringing Kenyans together.
Excellency told me, look, this is going to be an administration that is going to unite this country. And I'm going to serve equally those who voted for me and those who did not vote for me because they're all Kenyans. And Farah expect good tidings. And you better start working out the projects that are of utmost importance in your own region. And of course, we mentioned the projects that were there. On the spot, in the same place he called, I talked about the Garissa, the Madogo, Garissa, Dadaab, Liboi, Harhar Road, in my constituency, which is supposed to be part of the great African highways that are supposed to literally connect the continent. And he called his minister for transport at that time and roads and told him, do you have programs for that? The minister had some things at his fingertips. He said, we are looking to see if we can get funding for the design of that road. He told him, accelerate that design. We need to connect the government, the country, in every way. Madam Speaker, since that time, I now have national grid going all the way to Dadaab. And I'm hoping the national grid is going to go all the way to Liboi, all the way to Harhar. And that goes for all the regions in this country, including the regions that were really left behind. I'm talking about such regions as Luo-Nyanza, Eastern Province, all of the north, all those areas. There are projects there. There are dams that have been put in. We're getting medium dams, we're getting small ponds, and we're getting the big dams also coming to the region. And that exactly is what a nation building is about. Everything that was there at that time, as at the time when this administration assumed the reins of the government, we had a problem with the cost of living. It's been handled from 240 shillings to what do you call the 2 kilogram maize meal to 120, 130 now. We had issues with teaching. For the first time, we're getting almost 100,000 teachers, 76,000 employed so far. Madam Speaker, can I have 5 more minutes? Fair enough, thank you. 100,000 teachers are going to be employed in less than 4 years, in about 4 years. Doctors are getting employed. The medical field itself, with all the imperfections that were there before, now there's hope. Hospitals are being built. I have a TVET in my own constituency, and in that TVET, there are going to be hostels which are going to be built for the students who are going to be there. Development is going to the 4 corners of the country, and I'm talking about Dadaab. I'm hoping also to get housing. The affordable housing is in Dadaab. Right now, we have markets. I drilled more than 45 boreholes in less than 3 years in my constituency. A record number that has not been drilled for all the 60-something years or 60-odd years before that. We have had a record number of ponds, Madam Speaker. And now we are looking at taking serious, innovational, technological steps. We are looking at an infrastructure that essentially is going to connect the 4 corners of this country. The road all the way to Mandera for us is there. Our children along that corridor are seeing tarmac for the first time. The road to Dadaab is going to start, I think, in as early as January next year. And these are the kind of things that we're looking at. I sat with some friend who was involved in the Nyayo car. I don't know if you remember the Nyayo car, a model efforts that was done by the government of the day that time. And because there was a lot of mediocrity in the discussions and the deliberations on the way forward to establish a car that today would have matched the Toyotas and the Mazdas and all these other vehicles that are also built, the Mahindras that were built in third world countries. What were hitherto third world countries, because Japan at the time of after the Second World War was a very poor country. We threw away that because we looked at the market. You're not supposed to look at the domestic market alone. You're supposed to look at the globe for that matter. And the fact that that would have spurred a technological takeoff that would have put us again to look for other electronic things like televisions, like what do you call it, the stereos, all those technologically advanced things, all the way to mobile phone, the telephones for now. So it is actually when you dream and you dream big and you have a vision like this, Madam Speaker, the nation, it will be in a position to really go far. If you don't dream, and I am a perfect witness and mover and shaker of a dream in my own first time when I came in here. We had only 52 students going to universities in the north, from the north those days in the national universities in the country here. Only 52 students. Honorable Kenan was one of the student leaders who was there at that time. I put in an affirmative action motion. We started bringing in about 550 in the first year. Today, student population from the north in the universities in Kenya are more than 20% of the overall. Within 30 years, there's such a powerful transformation that we actually are unable to get jobs for the graduates from our region. Before we could not even, I was in Dadaab and the UN bodies were there and jobs were available and it was difficult to find even a diploma holder to be employed there by the UN. But today there's such a glut that if you want 100 doctors or 200 doctors from the north who are without jobs, you'll get them in a matter of 1 hour. And they're there going all over the world, going in other parts of the continent and other regions in the country, and working as doctors, as engineers, as lawyers, as everything. So when you dream and you take the first steps towards that dream and that vision, you will definitely get somewhere. Before you can take off and reach that pinnacle, you must initially dream and take deliberate steps towards that dream itself, that vision itself. And you are definitely going to go very far. Madam Speaker, I had the benefit. Can I have a few more minutes, Madam Speaker? 2 more minutes just to wrap. And ask Shabir Shakil to, if he's a bit sick these days, let him nurse his wounds. I can see he holds his hands always with a sling. I don't know who bet him. But anyway, I had the benefit of going to a prestigious university or school of business in South Korea for one of the modules of the MBA course I was doing. And he was with me also, yes. And I agree with that. He was with me. And what happened is that when you see what South Korea was at the time we got independence, the president of the time, who was a military ruler, was called Park Chung-hee. He was so broke. He needed $800,000, less than $1 million, to facilitate his own delegation to go all over Europe and America, looking for scholarships for children or students from South Korea in the field of technology. And he didn't have that money. He had to come and borrow it from Kenyatta, Jomo Kenyatta. He came here on a visit and borrowed that amount of money. Madam Speaker, as a former Deputy Speaker, sometimes I should get a little bit more time than the others. Anyway, can I have 2 more minutes just to wrap it up? And ask Shakil Shabir to respect seniority. Now, he went all over these countries and got 3,000 scholarships in prestigious universities in America and in Europe for students from South Korea in only the field of technology. Only the field of technology. Whereas we're taking a lot of time in our country right now training procurement guys and BAs and other things that do not help us in that technological offtake. He got those 3,000. Those 3,000 went to the top schools in the world. And they're the ones who came back and spurred the technological takeoff of South Korea in the way it is. And in 45 years, they're able to do what they did, which is unbelievable. I mean, from having the same GDP as us, today their GDP is $2.8 trillion? And ours is only $136 billion. That is what made the difference. Now it's never too late. I see ourselves right now as taking off in the same manner as that dreaming, visionary South Korean president, who was a military dictator, went on a mission to make sure his country becomes a first world in the shortest possible time. And it did. Now we have taken off ourselves. We need to give all the support to our president. We need to walk the talk with him. We need to eliminate all these naysayings and the rest and petty things. The other day somebody said, when it was asked, Lee Kuan Yew was asked, how were you able to perform so much better than our own country when we were together at the same level at the time of independence? He said, you killed your visionary Tom Mboya. South Koreans did not kill me.
Okay, next, Honorable Millie Odhiambo, member for Suba North.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. And Madam Speaker, I want to thank the President for the State of the Nation address that has spoken to very, very many issues. And I wish to indicate that very good coincidence that it fell on the 20th of November, which is also the International Day of the Child. And for many of us, I'm very passionate about the issues of the protection of a child. And Madam Speaker, even though I noticed that was not given primacy, the President spoke a lot to the issues of hardware, of especially development, but I wish there was also a lot of attention. I know the reports have issues of attention on issues of human rights and all that, but I wish it was also given as much primacy, especially as we are also celebrating the 16 days of activism on gender-based violence. And it is very unfortunate that we are seeing a lot of violence, especially during these by-elections, and praying that we can take very firm action. In almost virtually every place where there is elections, there is violence. And I see people giving a lot of excuses about primaries and all that, saying about our political party should have given be fair in nominations. But you find somebody who is violent, who never took part in any political party primaries. They went straight to be independent candidates or came with their own parties, but are still extremely violent. And I'm hoping the government can really take firm action and our courts can punish people very firmly so that we don't excuse or allow violence. Having said that, Madam Speaker, because I know I have very short time, I don't want to speak to the issues of economy that everybody has spoken about. I just want to acknowledge that one of the areas that is normally not noticed as part of national government is NGCDF. And I want to thank the national government for acknowledging that together with NGCDF, the government has delivered 23,000 new classrooms and 1,600 laboratories are still under construction. That has enabled the easing of congestion and giving CBC the dignified facilities that it needs. And Madam Speaker, a lot of us do not realize it, but NGCDF has done a lot of work to change enable access to education in our communities, especially the rural communities. Another thing, Madam Speaker, is also the issue of TVETs that has also changed economic situations. If for young people, that many of the people who come out of TVETs are able to get self-employment. Madam Speaker, it has actually said that the enrollment has leaped from 341,000 in 2022 to 718,000 as young Kenyans embrace engineering, ICT, modern agriculture, hospitality, design, and trades that power a modern economy. I can actually attest that in my own constituency, again with NGCDF, working together with the Ministry of Education, built a TTI at Waondo. And the place has actually just transformed from a small village to now it's almost a town. But above that, you can actually see what the young people are able to do. They are the ones who are building other facilities now within the institutions. They've done the walls, they are doing the toilets, and they are able to be used already, meaning that when they live there, they'd be able to really go out into the community. Madam Speaker, I'd also want to talk to the issue of affordable housing, and I'd request, Madam Speaker, with your kind permission, if I could have just two more minutes, because I can see I have, my time is almost up. But I just wanted to speak.
You can add more time for it.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just wanted to say that affordable housing is really a very noble thing. I was very hesitant when it first started, especially for those of us who represent rural constituencies. Madam Speaker, however, I want to say that when I actually saw the affordable housing in Homa Bay town, it's one of the really, really good initiatives, and I wish that the other affordable housing models could emulate what was done in Homa Bay town, because it gives very decent housing, decent and dignified housing to people. Space, and also, with a lot of, space, and even for the houses themselves, they are 1, 2-bedroom, and 3-bedroom. So I think it's really a good thing. Madam Speaker, the only challenge that I think we need to face is when you have situations like in Makongeni in Nairobi, where there are people that are being moved, who have stayed there for years, and the government has done a good thing because each of them is being paid 150,000. But I think sometimes where the government is well-intentioned, people mess up situations like that. And you find that there are people who have not been paid their 150,000 because of very minor problems. So you find that sometimes some of those people, because most of them also have rural constituencies, I have people who are originally from my own constituency who are there, so they are stuck, they're looking for alternative accommodation, they don't have money, yet the government has availed 150,000 for them to relocate. We know that there was a point that railway stopped changing the cards of ownership, yet there are people who have stayed there for more than 20 years. I would want to request that the appeals that have been placed in situations like that be considered and be considered very quickly so that we don't have people staying out in the cold. I would also want to make a very special request that when you have religious institutions like Makongeni SDA Church, that is already there, which even the president himself contributed to, but is also being earmarked for destruction. Yes, it's not situated within the area where the affordable housing is going to be done. So I would just want to request that we may want to consider that. I know a lot of people are talking and saying how, they are not seeing development in their areas. Madam Speaker, I'd want to say that in my own constituency, the Rusinga Ring Road is done. There's only just a little bit here and there that needs to be done, but more or less it's been tarmacked. I want to say that in Luanda, the market is at 85%, almost complete. Madam Speaker, I know, and I don't know why the president has to struggle to prove that he has done 90 or 100%. You don't have to do 190% or 80% or even 70%. Madam Speaker, all of us know here, those who have been elected more than once or twice, the most difficult terms are often the first term. So for me, if there's goodwill, that shows that there's work being done. But we need to still up on the issues of human rights. I know there's a lot being done, but we could still do better. And I just want to thank the President. In terms of development, he's on the right track. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, the Honourable Member for Emurua Dikir, Honourable Ngeno.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I wish also to put my voice on this particular presentation by the head of state to this House, Madam Speaker. Much has been said by members, much was said even by the head of state himself in this House, Madam Speaker. My only contribution is that there has been a lot of backlog on development activities in this country, Madam Speaker. So that even today, as we are speaking in this House, Madam Speaker, these are matters which should have been spoken to 10, 20 years ago. The development that the President presented before this House, the blueprint, was a blueprint which was supposed to have been presented in this House 1969, 1970, and these are matters which should have been dispensed with, Madam Speaker. But due to leadership defaults, leadership faults, and so many issues, Madam Speaker, no president has ever addressed comprehensively the issues that the great president of this republic presented before this House. Madam Speaker, the matter of transport, the matter of infrastructure, Madam Speaker, is the greatest backbone to any developing country. Madam Speaker, the issue of irrigation, the issue of education are great achievements which make a country leap from third world to second world to first world. But, Madam Speaker, we have had a lot of challenges, and I would wish not to debate much on the matter, but I just want to urge all those who are under the President, including even this House, including the judiciary, Madam Speaker, if we must realize this blueprint of the President, Madam Speaker, it is upon this House to ensure that we do our part as the National Assembly, as the Senate. It is also upon the judiciary to do their part so that they do not hamper the success of this particular undertaking, Madam Speaker. It is also incumbent upon the executive to ensure that they implement the agendas, which actually 4 agendas which the President presented before this House, Madam Speaker. Otherwise, I wish to thank the President, and especially on the issue of dualling of the roads that has always been prone to accidents, that has always been prone to serious snarl-ups, that has always been, especially the Maimayu and the Kino, all the way up to Mao Summit, which the President is launching tomorrow, Madam Speaker. I wish to state here that is going to open up our countryside, Madam Speaker, developments, transport, and all those matters. Madam Speaker, on matters of SGR, Madam Speaker, and I'm believing that in the near future, we are going to electrify the SGR so that we have faster means of transport, so that if those who are going to be using these particular networks, Madam Speaker, can reach their destinations within a short time. So, Madam Speaker, I am, and I believe this House will also take it up upon itself to ensure that we support the President on the matter of SGR. We electrify it so that we can have trains that can move with speed, so that people who are traveling from Mombasa to Nairobi can reach Nairobi within 2 hours, just like how they do with the planes, so that those who will be traveling from Nairobi to Kericho or Bomet to Kisumu can also take the shortest time possible. So, Madam Speaker, I'm in full support, and I would wish, as a member of this House, to give my support to the President's speech. Lastly, Madam Speaker, I would also wish the President to consider underground trains in this Nairobi so that it can reduce the jams and snarl-ups in this particular town. Ease also transport so that if you are traveling from Ngong to Nairobi town, you can use only 5 minutes. From Thika to this town, Madam Speaker, you can use the shortest time possible. So, and this one can be done through PPP, Madam Speaker, where we can have an agreement between investors and the country. We have underground trains in our country like the developed countries. I thank you, Madam Speaker, and I support.
Mover to reply. Thank you. Now the mover can reply.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, allow me to thank all the members who rose in their place in support of this motion, to note the contents of the address by His Excellency the President to the nation, which was his third State of the Nation address. And in his own words, Honourable Speaker, as he began this address, he did indicate that 3 years ago in his first State of the Nation address, he had a vision that he came to share with the House and with the nation. And this time he didn't come with that vision, he came with a story on how far he had moved in the achievement of that vision that he did indicate that he wanted to roll out for the people of Kenya. And in line with the manifesto that he went around the country campaigning, and on the basis of which millions of Kenyans voted for him to lead our country. Honourable Speaker, the many members who have contributed to this debate have noted the many good things that are in place, and I want to agree with what the Honourable Millie Odhiambo has just said here in her contribution, that nobody should be in a hurry, because what is there can be seen and can be felt. That, Honourable Speaker, when you listen to those high priests, as they were described, of eternal pessimism, and their children, because even here, Honourable Speaker, I did hear a few of their children, in their pessimism, point fingers to data that they cannot offer any alternative data. That somebody can stand in their place, Honourable Speaker, and doubt steel and cement consumption in this country in the last 2 years. Honourable Speaker, even in your own village or in your own county, with affordable housing projects, with markets being built left, right, and center across the nation, and all those things are consuming cement and steel, with over 23,000 new classrooms built, somebody has the guts to come and make the world imagine that the consumption of steel and cement has gone down in the last 2 years. You know, you just need to exercise a little, not even wisdom, intelligence. And you know, I have seen some of us are now fashioning ourselves as masters of doublespeak, that the things you said yesterday do not stand today because you do not sit where you were sitting yesterday. That some of us now want to be lecturing people in workshops, seminars. You are shopping around for every other small seminar and workshop you find to elucidate on fake data. Then you come here and say the president was not relying on data from the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics. And unfortunately, I saw one of the media houses also fall into the same trap, questioning data that you can go and verify. And in fact, unashamedly, one of the media houses was saying this data is not verifiable. So why don't you give us alternative data? If we say we have so many thousands of Kenyans working in the affordable housing sector, tell us, no, the houses don't exist and there are no people working. Maybe there are robots that are working in those affordable housing projects. And they are probably using soil, not cement. They are using bamboo sticks, not steel. Because, Honorable Speaker, facts and data cannot be hidden. You can never hide the truth. And I must thank the president because his story of resilience, his story of determination to the nation, his story of his determination to transform our country from being a third world country to a first world country, Honorable Speaker, is a story for all Kenyans. It's not a story for William Ruto, and he did say here, it is not about him. It is not about us who legislate on policies and laws that will transition our country from being a third world to a first world country. It is about all of us collectively as a nation. Therefore, even those who speak with bitterness, those today who are doubting that the Kenyan shilling is not stronger, the shilling has not been resilient. And I heard somebody say here that, oh, you know, at the time of elections, the shilling was at 120 shillings. But you're not being honest. You're not being honest with Kenyans to tell Kenyans, as much as the shilling was trading at 120 shillings on the day of the elections, we had no fuel in this country. We had no food. The economy was collapsing. Honorable Speaker, we had no foreign exchange reserves. You should be honest, Honorable Speaker. And I thank God because I was trained as an accountant and a student of economics. I do not do classroom economics. Just like I do real politics, I do real economics, not classroom economics. Because, Honorable Speaker,
do you wish to be informed?
Classroom economics at times can be theoretical. Honorable Speaker, if you allow me, I'll allow you to inform me as soon as I finish the point I'm making. I was saying classroom economics, Honorable Speaker, at times can be more theoretical than practical. But practical economics speaks to people, speaks to the real people, the real economy, Honorable Speaker. That when you say you have employed 100,000 teachers and somebody stands in their place here to tell us, oh, the president did not speak about education. Well, we know our CBC was collapsing in 2022.
Yes.
Parents didn't know what to do with their children. Universities were closing down, Honorable Speaker, public universities. We had no teachers in our schools. We are all members of parliament representing constituents who teachers, our head teachers, always are sending us, oh, try get me a chemistry teacher, get me a Swahili teacher. Today, facts and data is there that 76,000 teachers are on a payroll, paying taxes to KRA. Today, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Speaker, somebody is saying that your region is a beneficiary. It is not just your region. Thousands of Kenyans today who would not have accessed education opportunities can access education opportunities because of the transformation that has gone on in the education sector, Honorable Speaker.
Do you wish to be informed?
Honorable Speaker, let me allow Honorable Chepkonga and Honorable Keinan to inform me. in one minute.
And Kenan, yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Honorable Chepkonga.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. It is not my culture to interrupt a very good speech of the majority leader. He's spoken from his heart.
Is it a culture or a habit?
No, it's also my culture. Not allowed. You know, senior people, you don't just interrupt them like that. So you must apologize first when you interrupt. But it is very important, Mr. Speaker, to inform the majority leader. In fact, he has spoken very correctly that the foreign exchange reserves were below 3 months import cover, just slightly above $6 billion, Mr. Speaker. As we speak today, the foreign exchange cover, the foreign exchange reserves is over $20 billion. 2 times, Mr. Speaker. And somebody has the audacity to tell the majority leader that they were doing better than now. Shame on them.
Shame on them. Honorable Kenan. Actually, it's almost 3 times, not 2 times. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, access to education is a basic right. Mr. Speaker, in northern Kenya, before the government of His Excellency President William Ruto, northern Kenya was used as a recruitment bureau. You use the crisis, create crisis, artificial security crisis, recruit teachers from northern Kenya, post them, within weeks create crisis, and repost them to other regions. I can tell you today, even in the constituencies that I represent, today there are enough teachers. Access to education now is a right, and more fundamentally, for the first time, the government has operationalized 2 new teachers training colleges. So in the next few months, ML and other Kenyans, we have surplus teachers, and we'll be asking for more employment so that these teachers from northern Kenya can now serve in other parts of the Republic of Kenya. And this will not have been realized without that deliberate policy by the government. And those who want to hear, please come to northern Kenya and see the difference. Thank you, Majority Leader.
Majority Leader, proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I am very well informed by the Honorable Kenan. And it is indeed true, and that's why Honorable Speaker was saying, facts speak for themselves. You cannot dispute facts and data. And I must thank even the members of the Institute of Certified Public Accountants, because I saw one of our young members who, as I said, has been running from one conference to another, in an association of this and an association of that. And at least the accountants, because they speak to facts and figures, were able to challenge that member on some of the things he was saying. Because it is very easy to talk. Cheap political talk is very cheap and easy. But you cannot sit with accountants to give us cheap political talk, because we will challenge you based on data, facts, and what you are telling us yesterday. Because when I was the chairman of the Budget and Appropriations Committee, or when I was the vice chair of Honorable Kenan as the vice chair of the Public Investments Committee, in my first term as a new member of Parliament, if the things I said then held, even today they should hold. And that is what defines leadership. If you want to be a leader, you must be consistent. Honorable Speaker, if I am wrong, I would be consistently be wrong. If I am right, I will consistently be right. Because if I flip-flop on my position today and tomorrow based on the position I hold, it therefore means I am nothing other than a small conman. And therefore, even for those of us who are young leaders, let us not be swallowed into the bitterness and the desire for revenge of those who are older than us, the Wamunyos and Waminyo and the others, Honorable Speaker. If you are a younger leader, please be faithful in your representation of the people and their issues. Honorable Speaker, when I hear someone saying, oh, securitization is illegal borrowing, how can your conversion of an asset into a marketable security be borrowing, Honorable Speaker? And because you want to sound intelligent, you move from one workshop, one classroom to the other, one training session to the other, saying, oh, the government is involved in illegal borrowing because we are doing securitization. When I was the chair of the Public Investments Committee 10, 12 years ago, I authored a report together with the Honorable Kainan to say that the government must innovate ways through which our parastatals can cease being dependent on the exchequer and have innovative ways of financing the operations in a commercially viable manner. If I held that position 12 years ago, I still hold the same position. I cannot flip-flop. I cannot say now if Kenya Power wants to securitize some of their funds, oh, it's illegal borrowing. Let us be honest. Let us also be objective in our criticism. I wish people would be like the Honorable Undo, who at times criticizes, but does so objectively, and is consistent in his position. And even when he's not consistent, he knows he will tell you this is for politics. But you know, when somebody behaves...
You on a point of order?
When someone behaves as if...
Order, Honorable Majority Leader, Honorable Undo is on a point of order. What's your point of... What's out of order?
The Majority Leader is extremely out of order. I do not politic with the facts. I don't politic on the floor of the House. I politic outside there. On the floor of the House, I debate based on facts and based on available information. You see, he just wants to prolong the debate. I like, sometimes he likes using me as an easy punching bag, but I take it positively.
Order. This is a political institution. Honorable Undo, Parliament is a political
Honorable Speaker,
institution.
you know, Honorable Undo is a very serious legislator. And you know, I have immense respect for him. And that is why I said, when he criticizes on the floor, he does it based on facts. And he's consistent. That is leadership. When he does it out there in politics, he will tell you that was politics. But here we deal with facts and figures. Now, what astonishes me is somebody who yesterday was a chair of a committee pushing through securitization. Today says securitization is illegal borrowing. Someone who yesterday was telling us the consumption of cement, steel is going up. Today, because it is politically expedient, can stand on the floor of Parliament because you think you have prime time TV to lie to the Kenyan people. That is what I'm saying. That is not leadership. And I want to encourage those of our younger brothers and sisters who sit in this house. Let us be faithful to the truth. Let us be objective. Let us not allow ourselves to be consumed by anger, revenge, and bitterness, because it is consuming those who are older. If you are younger, please don't allow that to consume you. Honorable Speaker, I heard someone say that in the region, the Kenyan economy is not the most dominant today. Facts again speak for themselves. Data speaks. The Kenyan economy remains the most resilient in the East African region, and actually we have now moved from position 8 to position 6 as amongst the fastest growing economies in Africa, not in the region, Honorable Speaker. These are facts from the World Bank. I don't need to belabor them, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I may go on and on and on, but because I was simply replying, let me thank all the members who supported this motion positively, those who had alternative views based on facts. We have heard you. We are not in a hurry. This administration has only been about 3 years old. By 2027, when we go into elections, this administration will have walked the talk on the vision that His Excellency the President elucidated to this House and to the nation 3 years ago in his first State of the Nation address, and the story that he spoke about last week on Thursday, a story of sacrifice, resilience, determination, and an endeavor to move our country from the third world to a first world nation, is a story that this House is an active participant in, and I fondly noted the appreciation of the President on the role that Parliament plays in moving our country forward. Let us say no to the negativity, Honorable Speaker. Let us watch those older and the younger priests of eternal pessimism But let us not lose our focus on the transformative journey that we began 3 years ago. And I want to believe, Honorable Speaker, His Excellency the President William Ruto and his administration will indeed put this nation on that trajectory to move our nation into a first world nation. The naysayers may not believe it, but it is coming right in front of their eyes. They can see the affordable housing units going up. They can see road projects that stalled 9, 7, 8 years ago today going on. Tomorrow, I invite them to Rironi, Limuru, to Mau Summit, to Nakuru, to Salga, to witness the transformation of the corridor to the western part of our country, so that next Christmas, the Honorable Oundo will not sleep on that highway. He'll be able to go home the way I go home to Kikuyu here using either the southern bypass, western bypass, or ABC Rironi dual carriageway. That is the Kenya we want for every Kenyan. And that Kenya is possible to be realized within our lifetime, if only we can take up the challenge that the President has thrown to us as leaders, to work together with him to transform our country for the better. With that, I beg to reply.
Honorable members, I now put the question that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 24-6, the thanks of this House be recorded for the exposition of public policy contained in the address of His Excellency the President delivered in Parliament on Thursday, the 20th of November, the year 2025, and further, that this House notes the following reports submitted by His Excellency the President in fulfillment of the provisions of Articles 132(1)(c) and 247 of the Constitution, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, the 25th of November, the year 2025. Roman 1, the 12th annual report on the measures taken and progress achieved in the realization of national values and principles of governance. Roman 2, the 12th annual report on the progress made in fulfilling the international obligations of the Republic of Kenya. And Roman 3, the annual report to Parliament on the state of national security. Will as many of the appearance say aye? Aye. Will as many of the contrary appearance say nay? The ayes have it. Order number 11, I want to put the question. Order, honorable members. Order, Honorable Oundo and Honorable Chepkonga. Honorable members, I also now put the question. This is for order number 11 on the Judges' Retirement Benefits Bill. Honorable members, I want to put the question. The Judges' Retirement Benefits Bill, National Assembly Bill number 27 of 2025, be now read a second time. Will as many of the opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order.
A bill for an act of parliament to provide for the pension and other retirement benefits to judges of superior courts and for connected purposes. Order number 13, motion, consideration of the Public Finance Management Government Press Fund Regulations 2025.
The Honorable Chepkonga.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, just want to join the majority leader. He has done an extremely profound job. When you drive almost through Kikuyu, the work that is going on the interchange is marvelous. Yes. It is wonderful. You know, we have never seen anything like that. And then people say that nothing has been done by the majority leader, surely. And you know, he's the one who ensured that this thing is done. In fact, there was a Director General who was causing him problems. I'm telling you, you know, when you drive, you wonder whether you are in New York or California. You know, we have never seen anything like that. You know, you know, some of the things people should not be saying in this country. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that the House adopts the report of the Committee on Delegated Legislation on its consideration of the Public Finance Management Government Press Fund Regulations 2025 laid on the table of the House on Wednesday, 26 November 2025, and pursuant to the provisions of Section 24, subsection 4 of the Public Finance Management Act, Cap 412A, and standing under 210(4)(b), this House approves the Public Finance Management Government Press Fund Regulations 2025, published as legal notice number 142 of 2025, subject to the annulment of Regulations 5(2)(d), Regulation 9(1), and Regulation 12(1)(g) for contravention of Section 13M of the Statutory Instruments Act, Cap 2. Mr. Speaker, these are fairly straightforward recommendation for adoption of the regulations, which have been amended pursuant to regulations that had been made in 1988, which had become almost obsolete, Mr. Speaker. The Committee on Delegated Legislation considered the regulations in line with the Constitution, the Public Finance Management Act in which these regulations have been made, and the Interpretation of Statutory General Provisions Act of Cap 2 and the Statutory Instruments Act Cap 2. Mr. Speaker, the government press fund, the intention is to provide for funds and to modernize this particular fund. As you know, the Public Finance Management Act was passed way after these regulations were promulgated in 1988, and it was passed after the new Constitution. So most of these regulations, Mr. Speaker, that have been existing in the books have required to be modernized and to bring them into conformity with the new Constitution. Historically, this fund has supported the publication, dissemination of official government information, state security materials, and educational resources. However, despite substantial operational changes since the establishment of the fund in 1988, a lot has undergone a number of comprehensive changes, which required a total review of the fund. The government therefore found it necessary to modernize the legal framework, to strengthen the governance structures, and properly anchor the fund under the Public Finance Management Act, or Chapter 412. The object and purpose of this fund, Mr. Speaker, is to establish a fund to support the sustainability of commercial and non-commercial activities of the government press, which include printing, publishing, publication, and consulting. And in particular, Mr. Speaker, this fund is intended to finance the purchase of raw materials that will be used for printing and publishing works by the government press, Mr. Speaker. As you know, the government press does a very important function. All the bills that are brought into this House are published by the government printer. Every gazette notice of government is also published by the government printer. And a number of educational materials, including sometimes, Mr. Speaker, exams are published by the government printers. The other objective of this fund, Mr. Speaker, is to finance the maintenance, renewal, and replacement of obsolete plants, Mr. Speaker. As you know, the government printers has been in existence for very many years. From 1963, most of the plants that have been installed in the government printers, Mr. Speaker, are very old. And it uses very old technology, Mr. Speaker. So the intention of this fund is to replace some of those equipment with very modern equipments that support items that are supported by IT, Mr. Speaker. If you went there, Mr. Speaker, you will find that most of the government press equipment are very manual. And yet we claim as a country that we are digital. Mr. Speaker, that is a contradiction in terms. So this fund is seeking to ensure that we digitize the government printers' equipment so that it can be more efficient, it becomes more convenient in terms of printing, and secondly, in terms of production, it will be more quicker. The third object, Mr. Speaker, is to provide resources for the payment of overheads related to printing and publishing works that this particular government printer institution is performing for this nation. As you know, it also provides services to county governments. County governments and county assemblies use the services of the government printer to print all bills, Mr. Speaker, that are published by county assemblies across this country in the 42 counties. Having examined, Mr. Speaker, the Public Finance Management Government Press Fund Regulation 2025, the committee found that there are certain parts of these regulations that contravened the statutory instruments, particularly Section 13M, that provides that no statutory instrument shall inappropriately delegate power to any other person when the minister or the regulatory making authority has been given that power and propose to delegate to someone else to make decisions as they deem fit or as they consider appropriate. Mr. Speaker, that in itself goes against the Constitution, which says, Mr. Speaker, there is no person in Kenya who has the power to make anything that has a force of law. So when you purport to give someone else, a third party, to make law that as a force of law, that it contravenes the Constitution, it contravenes the statutory instruments. And that is the reason why we are recommending to this House, Mr. Speaker, that paragraph 5(2)(d), which inappropriately delegates responsibilities of the regulatory making authority to a third party, be annulled. Paragraph 9(1), paragraph 12(1)(g), Mr. Speaker, we are also recommending that those sections be annulled so that the regulation comes in line with the Constitution, with the Parent Act and the Statutory Instruments Act, Mr. Speaker. And so, Mr. Speaker, I move that that this House approves the Public Finance Management Government Press Fund Regulation 2025, legal notice number 142 of 2025, subject to the annulment of regulations 5(2)(d), paragraph 9(1), and paragraph 12(1)(g) for contravening section 13M of the Statutory Instruments Act, Mr. Speaker. And with those remarks, Mr. Speaker, I beg to move and request the Honourable Janet Sitiene to second.
Oh, okay.
Proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Just before I second, I really want to support the majority leader when he said that the President's plans and strategies to transform this country is a hope for this country for a brighter future. His determination is so good that it gives us hope as a people of Kenya. And we really want to thank the President for that. We know he is determined and he is focused on transforming this country. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, I wish to second the fact to confirm that the PFM Act conform with the new Constitution. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Now, it's okay. Order number 13. Honorable members, I now propose the question that this House adopts the report of the Committee on Delegated Legislation on its consideration of the Public Finance Management Government Press Fund Regulations 2025 laid on the table of the House on Wednesday, the 26th November, the year 2025, and pursuant to the provisions of Section 24, subsection 4 of the Public Finance Management Act Cap 412A, and Standing Order number 210 4B. This House approves the Public Finance Management Government Press Fund Regulations 2025, published as legal notice number 142 of the year 2025, subject to annulment of Regulations 5, 2D, 9(1) and 12(1)G of the regulations for contravention of Section 13M of the Statutory Instruments Act, Cap 2A. Yes, Honorable Oundo.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for giving me this opportunity and also put a word on this consideration of the Public Finance Management Government Press Fund Regulations 2025. And let me go on record as a member of the Committee of Delegated Legislation in the 12th Parliament. And fortunately, in those, is it fortunately or unfortunately, in the 12th Parliament, Honorable Chepkonga was not around. Your Honor, leave of absence, or sabbatical, he was not around. And indeed, the Honorable Speaker, while I was there were very curious issues. And by the time we were preparing our exit report, we made several recommendations to improve the workings of the committee. Number one, Honorable Speaker, any act of parliament, once it's been signed by, assented by the president, we normally have a tendency to donate or delegate powers to the cabinet secretaries or other accounting officers as the constitutional officer holders to prepare regulations, on understanding that you cannot have everything in the Act of Parliament. Consequently, Honorable Speaker, there was a tendency for the cabinet secretaries to abuse that delegated authority. They abused it in several ways, Honorable Speaker. One, extending the mandate, extending and trying to interpret afresh all that particular provisions that they gave them those powers. To an extent, Honorable Speaker, they could even impose levies and some form of tax, almost like taxation, through the back door. And indeed, many times, we stood our grounds and told them as much. And many cases they were threatened, but we thought it was good for the country to make sure that we stand firm. Second, Honorable Speaker, there were many cases where government officers or cabinet secretary would publish a regulation. Before it's approved by the House, they're already implementing the regulation in terms of levies, enforcement, and those kind of things. It's good we went ahead again during this term to amend the Certain Instrument Act to stem that kind of blatant abuse of power. Honorable Speaker, as we stand here today, let me also commend the government press. For many of us, the Kenya Gazette held some kind of awe. Whenever you could hear the Kenya Gazette, you'd always think very many important things were there. And of course, Honorable Speaker, we must find a way of making them autonomous so that they can do their work judiciously and according to the law. But Honorable Speaker, it is important for us to understand we might probably in the future have a standalone Act of Parliament, if we don't have, to make sure that the government press truly remains an independent and an accountable government institution that serves all the people of Kenya. There were many instances, Honorable Speaker, you take a matter to the government press, it will never be published or placed in the government Kenya Gazette because somebody somewhere has deliberately interfered or given specific instructions not to proceed to gazette a particular matter. Honorable Speaker, many Kenyans, when they lose their documents, be it title deed, be it certificate of lease, be it academic certificates and the rest of kind of things, and even when you want to change your name, like the conman in Mbere North, you call Kenyatta Hospital, you go change your name, and some strange reason, you are cleared to stand for an election on UDA party, which you thought was a party for the rule of law. But that turned out not to be the case. So that we are saying, Honorable Speaker, they must serve all Kenyans. They must actually have a service charter that if I have to gazette the loss of my title, once I've paid the requisite fees, I should expect that gazettement to be out after a certain period of time, not to stay there forever without anything else. And I wish they could also work with the clarity, with the speed, the way they worked in gazetting the impeachment of the truthful man. Now the truthful man has been impeached. He's causing sleepless night to quite a number of people. He's causing the butterflies to fly in many people's stomachs because the speed at which they hurried the process. Honorable Speaker, let me commend the committee, and I hope you have maintained the same spirit. If there's no public participation, adequate public participation, annul. If there's no memorandum or whatever impact assessment, annul. If it stretches the mandate of the Providing Act, continuously annul, we must fix this country. We cannot become a country of praise and worship of bad governance. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Is there anybody else? Okay. Fair enough. There being no further interest in this, I will call upon the Honorable Chepkonga to reply.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Speaker. In fact, I want to thank the Honorable Wundo, who is a former member of the Committee on Delegated Legislation. He was, in fact, we hear of his very important contribution that he made in the 12th Parliament. The only thing he says is that I was on leave, but I was not on leave. I just changed roles, Mr. Speaker. I moved from a member of Parliament for Ainapco constituency, and he elected me as his commissioner to represent him at the Parliamentary Service Commission. He must have forgotten, but just remind him that he elected me. So, Mr. Speaker, he did
in effect promoted you.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Because I used to pay him.
From being a member of Parliament, you became a boss for Parliament.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. I was paying. Mr. Speaker, you know the Honorable Wundo's committee, it was nicknamed the Annulment Committee.
Yes.
Because they were extremely very strict. And as a consequence of that, when we took over with recommendation from their committee that to stem this annulment of regulations, it may be important to undertake public pre-publication scrutiny, which we are now doing, and which we did with this one and the next one, Mr. Speaker. That is the reason why we did not want to annul, because there were just some small errors, and we thought we don't want to pass them with errors. We'd rather just annul some small parts of it and approve the substantive part of it. I want to thank him for his contribution and for the support that this House has given to the committee in passing a number of regulations that have been brought before this House. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the member for contributing very fervently and very competently to this particular motion, Mr. Speaker, and I beg to reply.
Fair enough, honourable members. My role is to put the question. Honourable members, I put the question that this House adopts the report of the Committee on Delegated Legislation on its consideration of the Public Finance Management, Government Press Fund, and Regulations 2025 laid on the table of the House on Wednesday, the 26th of November, the year 2025. And pursuant to the provisions of Section 24, subsection 4 of the Public Finance Management Act, Cap 42012 and Cap 412A, and Standing Order number 210, 4B, this House approves the Public Finance Management Government Press Fund Regulations 2025, published as legal notice number 142 of the year 2025, subject to annulment of Regulations 5, subsection Regulations 5, 2D, 9.1 and 12.1G of the Regulations for contravention of Section 13M of the Statutory Instruments Act, Cap 2A. Will as many of the opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 14, motion consideration of public finance management, sports, art, and social development fund amendment regulations 2025.
Chairperson, Committee on Delegated Legislation.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that this House adopts the report of the Committee on Delegated Legislation on its consideration of the Public Finance Management, Sports, Arts, and Social Development Fund Amendment Regulations 2025, laid on the table of the House on Wednesday, 26 November 2025, and pursuant to the provisions of Section 24, subsection 4 of the Public Finance Management Act, Cap 412, Chapter 412, Mr. Speaker, this House approves the Public Finance Management, Sports, Arts, and Social Development Fund Amendment Regulations published as legal notice number 106 of 2025. Mr. Speaker, as you know, the Sports Fund has acquired some importance in the recent past. As you know, the President has been promoting our sportsmen and women. And this Sports Fund has played a huge contribution towards inspiring these particular sports people. And the monies that you hear the President is contributing comes from this fund, Mr. Speaker. There are some people who wonder, where is the President getting this money? This money that is in the Sports Fund is money that is collected from sports pesa, aviator, who are taxed. And so to give to our sports people for having done this country proud, Mr. Speaker, that is the only legitimate thing that can be done for people who have given themselves to put Kenya in the world map. And as you know, Mr. Speaker, in the recent past, when we had the athletics, Kenya came number 4 globally. Mr. Speaker, that was a very commendable position. Number 2, Mr. Speaker, you saw the football that was held here recently. In fact, including some of us who are not fans of football, the local ones. As you know, I'm a huge fan of Arsenal, Mr. Speaker. Oh, yes, Mr. Speaker. In fact, just to remind Honorable Undo that Arsenal won yesterday. And now, Mr. Speaker, we are leading by over 10 points against our competitors, Mr. Speaker. Those who are competing against Arsenal now are viewing us on what we call Viusasa, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the fund that has been established to support sports activities in this country has been established pursuant to the Public Finance Management Act, Cap 412, Mr. Speaker. As you know, most all the funds that are being established are established by the Cabinet Secretary for Treasury, pursuant to the Public Finance Management Act, Mr. Speaker. And so we are considering this regulation in line with the Public Finance Management Act, Constitution, the Interpretation and General Provisions Act, and the Statutory Instruments Act. Mr. Speaker, the regulations have gone through the due process, public participation. They gave us the regulatory impact assessment statement. Mr. Speaker, the object of this particular regulation is to refine the scope and mandate of the fund, introduce an updated formula for apportionment of funds to various entities, like, for instance, Mr. Speaker, as you know, we are constructing Talenta Stadium at a total cost of 40 billion shillings, Mr. Speaker. That's why you hear the majority leader speaking to the question of securitization. This is, in fact, a very novel and a new approach of financing infrastructural activities in this country and globally generally, Mr. Speaker. We have regulations that are pending before this committee that deal with securitization of the Kera money, the Kura, and the Kenya money, Mr. Speaker, that is allocated to them. Mr. Speaker, we have seen how much monies that have been raised as a consequence of securitization. For instance, in the road sector, Mr. Speaker, the reason why you are seeing a number of roads being constructed at the moment is because under the securitization regulations, government has been able to raise 175 billion shillings to pay the pending bills, Mr. Speaker, which
why don't you give the Honourable what's happening?
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I think it was just
technical
issues,
yes,
Mr. Speaker.
proceed.
And as I was saying, Mr. Speaker, you know, this securitization has sorted out our very major problems. Like, for instance, the Talenta Stadium, Mr. Speaker. This is the only stadium in Africa of its own kind. Mr. Speaker, you have never seen a stadium which is constructed at a total cost of 40 billion shillings, Mr. Speaker. I normally pass through there, and I just wonder and behold the magnificent stadium that has been constructed by CRBC through the sports fund, Mr. Speaker. And as you know, where that Talenta Stadium sits, Mr. Speaker, many Kenyans should be thanking me. When I was the Corporation Secretary of Kenya Post and Telecommunication, we prevented ghouls and crooks in this country who wanted to allocate themselves that particular plot, which belonged to Kenya Post and Telecommunication, which was a government institution, Mr. Speaker. If it was not for some of us, you would be seeing so many small houses which would have been constructed there. We had some people who had funded titles, which they created, I don't know where. Was it in River Road? I don't know where, Mr. Speaker. But we clipped their wings, Mr. Speaker. I went to the director of CID, at that time, Mr. Noto, and we arrested them, and they took off. They surrendered the fake titles, Mr. Speaker. That is the reason why we have this Talenta Stadium, because it is constructed on government property, Mr. Speaker. And so this fund is intended to finance such kind of activities, structural activities. And as you know, Mr. Speaker, many of the stadiums that had been promised in the past have stalled because they have no funds, including two of my stadiums in Eldoret, Mr. Speaker. They have become a white elephant. Kamarij one in Elgeyo Marakwet, which is very well known to Professor Wundu. Mr. Speaker, this fund will sort out this particular problem, Mr. Speaker, that we have been witnessing in this country. We start stadiums and then we have no money. We are allocating them through Exchequer. And you know Exchequer is competing with everybody, Mr. Speaker. We are competing for Exchequer with everybody. With the sports people, education, which is extremely very important. As you know, education at the moment is swallowing the largest bit of our budget, 700 billion, Mr. Speaker, of revenue which we collect about 2.6 trillion. Mr. Speaker, this particular fund will assist this country to sort out those problems, that intermittent problems that we have seen occurring from time to time. The intention of this particular fund, Mr. Speaker, is also to strengthen operational definitions and institutional roles. It will also provide clarity on the administration, management, and utilization of the fund. The overall purpose of the fund remains to support, Mr. Speaker, the development and promotion of sports and arts, programs that foster social development, including universal health, Mr. Speaker. As you know, our sports people,
Proceed, Honourable.
We must ensure that our sports people are healthy and they are provided with sufficient facilities. Like, for instance, physiotherapists, Mr. Speaker. This bill, this fund, Mr. Speaker, will foot the bill to provide physiotherapy facilities for sports people. You know, people just run and they just come and sit, Mr. Speaker. If you look at those ones who run, athletes in international other countries, Mr. Speaker, they run, and when they are resting, you have a physiotherapy straightening the muscles that have been injured, Mr. Speaker. This will ensure that we are very competitive sports people. Mr. Speaker, as you know, sometimes we have a problem in terms of the sports people managing themselves. And I have one case in point, the late Kelvin Kiptum. You know, if this fund had been properly operationalized, this gentleman would not have been drinking, and his coach drinking, and himself is driving a drunk coach, and himself is drunk. Mr. Speaker, how would they not lose control? These are people who should have been kept in some secluded area. You have a coach
protected.
A protected area, Mr. Speaker.
From themselves?
Yes, from themselves. They can injure themselves. They lack self-control. It's because they have too much money. This is a gentleman would have seen running sub 2 hours in marathon. Because he had already run 2 hours and 35 seconds, Mr. Speaker. In fact, he just ran, it was just like a walk in the park. If we had allowed him to run, one of the functions of this sports fund is also to establish gyms for sports people. And you know, Mr. Speaker, you know, most of the sportsmen, they just run. They do what we call body toning. They don't do muscle strengthening. And they need those facilities, Mr. Speaker. This fund is dedicated to help the sports people so that when they are running, they are almost finishing, Mr. Speaker. You know, they have the last kick. You know, most of them, they run when they have seen the tape here, they have no last kick. And then you see an Ethiopian just passing them because they have better facilities than ourselves. This fund will ensure that those facilities are provided, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I don't want to say too much on this particular fund because it is fairly straightforward. It is something that is going to be useful to this country. And so, Mr. Speaker, I request the House that pursuant to Section 24(4) of the Public Finance Management Act, CAP 412, the committee recommends that this House approves the Public Finance Management Sports, Arts and Social Development Fund Amendment Regulation 2025, legal notice number 106 of 2025 in its entirety, Mr. Speaker. And with those remarks, Mr. Speaker, I beg to move and request the Honorable Mwalio to second.
Mwalio.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I rise to second the consideration of the Public Finance Management Sports, Arts and Social Development Fund Amendment Regulation 25. And before I do that, I would like to commend the committee for coming up with this regulation and be able to have thought about our sports people and even our academies. You remember that sometimes back we used even to have teams that are invited to go and play outside, and there is no money even for travel, there is no money for expenses, and they sometimes miss, and also the morale goes down because they are struggling to get money, no facilities, no good uniform, and this fund will be able to do much, especially as our sports department is concerned. And also we can see that there are sports academies now that are coming up in our constituencies. This fund is going to help our young people who in their secondary school in their early age, they are able to train and become good sports people, be able to earn their living. If you compare with the other countries, these people are taken care of and they don't do anything else. They do training from morning to evening, and then they become good sports people, they become good footballers, they become very well trained, and even they earn their living from that. So this fund is most welcome, and I think that we are going to pass it to be able to help our country to grow sports, because we should grow our sports the way we are growing our education. We have so many universities coming up. We have so many tippets in every constituency. We should also have the academies in every constituency so that the young people that are talented can be able even to go for sporting. If they are unable to achieve much, to excel in education, in the books, they can also excel in sports. And therefore, it's a welcome idea, and also it's a way of getting our young people an alternative from the books. So, but with those few remarks, I second.
Honorable members, I now propose the question. That this House adopts the report of the Committee on Delegated Legislation on its consideration of the Public Finance Management, Sports, Arts and Social Development Fund amendment regulations of the year 2025 laid on the table of the House on Wednesday, the 26th of November, the year 2025, and pursuant to the provisions of Section 24, subsection 4 of the Public Finance Management Act, Cap 412A. This House approves the Public Finance Management, Sports, Arts and Social Development Fund Amendment Regulations, published as Legal Notice number 106 of 2025. Yes, Oundo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. In my young days, I used to be a very active sports person until I fractured my foot in old age. I no longer want to get across anywhere because I fear further injuries. But let me also, Honorable Speaker, join the committee in supporting the recommendation to approve the Sports Public Finance Management, Sports, Arts and Social Development Fund Amendment Regulations, published as Legal Notice number 106 of 2025. And Honorable Speaker, we must be our country, Kenya, has been known and its fame has spread all over the world because of sports, specifically athletics. And at any given time, Honorable Speaker, if there is anything that brings people of Kenya together, regardless of their political divide, primitive tribal association, is the sports. Many of us feel very proud when we see the Chebetis, we see the Obiris crossing the tape with the hands raised up, and you can see the color of the national, in their uniform, the colors of the national flag. When they run the lap of honor with that Kenyan flag, it gives many of us a lot of pride. Whenever I travel all over the world, Honorable Speaker, they will always talk about Kipchoge Keino, they'll talk about who and who, these famed athletes. It is important, Honorable Speaker, any opportunity that is available to provide or strengthen funding for sporting activities must always be supported at all times. Honorable Speaker, I know this Sports, Arts and Social Development Fund, that's where funds also to pay indigent and afford universal health care comes from. So, Honorable Speaker, I do hope and pray the amendments that have been presented or that are being presented here on the same fund goes further to strengthen the operations and management of the fund. Honorable Speaker, Kenya has had some very old and dilapidated sporting facilities. I think the last major sports stadium to be built was Kasarani. And I remember some of the earlier matches. I remember very well the match between Harambee Stars and Nigeria. I think it was African Cup Confederation qualifier. Those are some of the days now Kasarani came into effect. But Honorable Speaker, and I want this as members of Parliament and the public to have this debate. We have taken an antagonistic approach. We have taken a belligerent approach. We have taken a confrontational approach about securitization. Honorable Speaker, we might want to argue in many ways we want to look at it. But truth be told, both from literature and practice, securitization is a loan. Securitization is a debt, because all you are simply doing is that you are capitalizing your future income to get a lump sum for today to undertake an event and commit that future income stream to service the amount. In the event that income stream fails to materialize, it means the consolidated fund will be required to pay to service that commitment. So there is no other argument. It must be subsumed in politics. We might want to do all that we can to do, but securitization, like it or not, is a loan, and once it's a loan in terms of public resources, that becomes a public debt. We might refuse to enter into the schedule of public debt, but that remains a fact, undeniable fact, both from literature and practice, that that's a debt, that's a loan that you commit, a fixed income, a ring-fenced income, supposedly hoping the income will proceed and remain there forever. in the event of any eventuality that that income is not forthcoming, it means then you have to look for an alternative source to service that particular loan. And in terms of public funds, where is that? That's the exchequer through the consolidated fund. But nevertheless, once we have it, once we have Talanta Stadium, we have all of it, what we have, let's deal with the problem. Let's burden the future generation to deal with the problem, while the current generation, led by Honorable Chepkonga, will have exited and left. I have not seconded. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I second, but I simply want to go on record. Securitization is a loan, and a loan in public finance is a public debt. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yeah, I mean, those of us who were here and still have a memory of the 60s and the 70s would not forgive Kenyans for failing to remember the real stars of the 60s. You say Kipchoge Keino. There was Ben Chipcho. What was Ben Chipcho? There was Wilson Kiprugut. There was Naftali Temu. And there was an Amos Biwott. These are the people who put us on the map those early days. I'm talking about the 60s. Yes, yes. No, even 64. I was going through Standard 1 in 1964. Yes, give him the mic.
Honorable Speaker, the first Kenyan to win a gold medal in boxing was Wangila, who came from Funyula constituency.
Absolutely.
Who was a cousin of my grandmother. So I want to warn Honorable Chepkonga.
Wangila had a big issue because he had converted to Islam.
Yes.
And you wanted to bury him in traditional ways, and we went to court.
Yes.
And managed to bury him in the Islamic way.
Yes. But that cannot deny the fact that he came from Funyula constituency, and he was a cousin of my late grandmother. So I just want to bring to attention Honorable Chepkonga.
Yes.
Any day he annoys me beyond and I cannot hold myself, he needs to look where my hands is coming from, because one punch is down. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
I know it's not from your committee, but the Committee on Sports must put up statues for the people who have put us on the map. Naftali Temu, if I remember, my memory serves me very well, ran barefoot and gave us a gold medal. So we need, and if you don't remember, a country that does not know its history, does not know its future. If you don't know where you came from, you'll have a problem knowing where you're going. Thank you. And now that there seems to be having the support of everybody, I think the mover should be called upon to reply.
Yeah, I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we remember as a country with nostalgia the quartet of Naftali Temu of the Olympics of Munich Olympics, where Kenya won for the first time a gold medal in 4x400. Mr. Speaker, the last person to pick the battle was almost the last person in the field. And he ran and outsprint the rest who were ahead of him.
That was which year?
That was 1964, Mr. Speaker.
There you go.
Yes, when we were in Standard 1.
And where were you that time?
No, I was still a toddler.
Are you sure?
Yes, I was. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, in fact,
are you sure your mother and father had not been met?
No, absolutely, Mr. Speaker. You know the age between me and you is not very far. It's just that I've remained young. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the members who have contributed, and just to thank the sports people who have done immense work in putting the image of Kenya at beyond what people would do in the ordinary circumstances, Mr. Speaker. When you see someone running in a field, Mr. Speaker, some of us who are watching, and when it is live, the adrenaline, which is also running with them, Mr. Speaker, when we want to go and sleep, the sleep is disappeared because the adrenaline was faster than the blood Mr. Speaker, because of what we have been seeing in the screen. And so, Mr. Speaker, we want to commend our sports people for having done this country proud, and particularly those who have won gold medals, silver medals, bronze medals, and those who have attempted, Mr. Speaker. You know, I remember the marathon runner from Tanzania. He ran and he continued running, and he was the last one. When he finished, he was asked, why did you continue running and you were completely last? You had been outsprinted by everybody. And he said, my country did not send me to win. My country sent me to finish. Mr. Speaker, that is called sports. That's called sports. And that's the reason why we are supporting the sports fund, Mr. Speaker, that it be established urgently and be recalibrated for purposes of ensuring that funds are used in a manner that will benefit our sports people and this nation. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I beg to reply.
Daughter, the worst sister, the worst niece. Didn't anyone tell you?
Tell me what?
He suffered from a heart attack. He's in the hospital.
What?
Because I feel that boy is not trustworthy.
Oh, please, Mom, you don't even know
Letitia, shut up. A friend who wants to tell you that your husband has been cheating on you for a very long time. Are you serious? Whether you like it or not, you're going to marry Rodrigo, understand?
Wait, are you telling me that in case my father dies, you'll still force me to marry that guy?
That will not happen.
Tufunge pingu za maisha. Nimekuchagua